Chapter 135. Very quickly, Long Yu brought Feng Chang'e and Man Yi out of the observation range of the Gumeng Kingdom's sentry tower and hid behind a small snowy hill. Man Yi was sent flying by Yu Qianning's palm and suffered severe internal injuries. He was on the verge of dying. "Old General, how are you?" Long Yu and Feng Chang'e placed Old General Man Yi's body down gently on the snowy ground. I can't. Old General Man, he continuously coughed out blood, but his eyes flashed with incomparable, unswerving determination as he looked at Long Yu. "Chang'e, this is the Long Yu you were talking about. Brother Long Zai Tian's son. That's right, it's him," Feng Chang'e said in a deep voice. Long Yu, Old General Man, he coughed out blood and looked at Long Yu with anticipation in his eyes. "Your talent is not any worse than your father's. Your future achievements will definitely be extraordinary. I can give you my head so that you can return to the great Tang Empire and wash away the injustice of treason. But you must also do one thing for me." Long Yu frowned. Until now, he still could not figure out the relationship between him and Man Yi. Regarding this, he did not dare to simply agree. "Promise the Old General. As for the other things, I will tell you everything," Feng Chang'e said with a solemn expression. If Yu Qianning saw him and Long Yu in the Gumeng Kingdom's camp, she would definitely announce that they had committed treason. If they still wanted to return to the great Tang Empire, then they could only bring Man Yi's head back to clear their name of treason. Although Feng Chang'e was reluctant, he could see that Man Yi's life was on the line. Even if all the alchemists of the great Tang Empire gathered together, they would not be able to save him. Instead of dying like this, it was better to bring his head back to Long Yu. Most importantly, he had an unfulfilled wish that he wanted Long Yu to complete. "All right then, Old General, I promise you," Long Yu said solemnly as he nodded toward Man. "Then I can rest assured. After I die, cut off my head and bring it back to Tang Pass. In this way, you and your foster father will naturally be cleared of treason." Old General Man, he had a gratified expression. "As for what I want you to do for me, it's something that will happen sooner or later. That is to kill Chu Chaosheng." Chu Chaosheng. Long Yu's heart skipped a beat when he heard that. This wasn't the first time he heard Chu Chaosheng's name. Just now in the tent, Man Yi and Feng Chang'e mentioned that Chu Chaosheng was Yu Qianning's father. Kill Yu Qianning's father? However, before Long Yu could agree, Man Yi's old body loosened and fell onto the cold snow. His eyes were still filled with anticipation and unwillingness. He looked forward to the day when Long Yu could kill Chu Chaosheng and avenge him. But he was also unwilling to not be able to witness Chu Chaosheng's death with his own eyes. "Old General." Feng Chang'e's expression changed slightly, and he placed his hand on the tip of Man Yi's nose. This allowed him to know that the Old General, Man Yi, was really dead. We can't afford to be late. Let's go." Feng Chang'e stood up and chopped off Man Yi's head with his bronze sword without hesitation. Then, he dug a deep hole in the snow and buried Man Yi's body. His actions were so decisive that even Long Yu couldn't help but be somewhat moved. Although he didn't know the exact relationship between Feng Chang'e and this Old General, they weren't enemies. Yet, Feng Chang'e could so decisively cut off Man Yi's head. "Little Yu, let's talk as we go. The Gumeng army will catch up soon." Feng Chang'e carried Man Yi's head and left. Long Yu did not hesitate. The lunar wings on his back unfurled, and a layer of strange black ripples appeared. His figure, along with Feng Chang'e, turned into a streak of grayish-black flowing light and quickly returned in the direction of Tang Pass, taking a detour. At the same time, Long Yu finally heard the complete story of his father, Long Zaiyan, from Feng Chang'e. 20 years ago, Gumeng and Dong rejoined forces to attack the Tang Empire. The strength of the three countries was not much different. The two countries united to occupy the resource-rich areas of the Tang Empire and divided among themselves. However, they did not expect that the Tang Empire would produce a fierce general on the battlefield, a martial Dao extreme master. This person was Long Yu's father, Long Zaiyan. Back then, Long Zaiyan was the main general of the alliance against the Gumeng and Dong Ri. He created the 10,000 kill spear art, which could kill tens of thousands of people with a single thrust. The current thousand-thread sect master, Yu Ruyan, was a devastatingly beautiful young lady in the past. Like countless girls in the Tang Empire, she fell in love with Long Zaiqian, the national hero. Due to her outstanding talent in martial Dao, she joined the Tang Empire's military and became one of Long Zaiqian's deputies. Long Zaiqian had been fighting for many years, and Yu Ruyan had accompanied him for many years. However, Long Zaiqian didn't have any feelings for Yu Ruyan. He didn't like Yu Ruyan. Among the Gumeng army that fought against Long Zaiqian, there was an old general, Man Yi. He was only in his 30s and was in the prime of his life. During one of the battles, Man Yi, who had reached the 6th level of the true spirit realm, saw Yu Ruyan. He was shocked and fell in love with her. With Man Yi's level of martial Dao, he had more than one chance to kidnap Yu Ruyan and take her away by force. However, he didn't do that and instead pursued her. Man Yi and Long Zaiqian were evenly matched on the battlefield. He was the pillar of the Gumeng army and had unparalleled talent in military affairs. This made Long Zaiqian and Man Yi appreciate each other and communicate with each other through pigeons. The relationship between the two was that they were evenly matched and admired each other. However, on the battlefield, they still tried their best to kill each other. After all, they were on opposite sides. Until Long Zaiqian met Bei Yu Yao, a girl from the Heavenly Mandate Institute. He was instantly attracted by the fairy-like Bei Yu Yao. The two fell in love at first sight, which broke Yu Ruyan's heart. You'll regret it. After saying this, Yu Ruyan left Long Zaiqian and went to the Tang Empire to find Chu Chaosheng. Chu Chaosheng was a member of the Chu family of the Tang Empire and was now the left duke of the Tang Empire. At that time, Chu Chaosheng was just a talented collateral relative of the royal family. However, at that time, Chu Chaosheng had already shown his great talent in martial Dao, as well as his talent in scheming. From the beginning of Bei Yu Yao's appearance, the war between the three countries that had lasted for several years began to change. In order to be with Bei Yu Yao as soon as possible, Long Zaiqian was even more decisive on the battlefield. In the last battle, he finally drove the allied forces of Gumeng and Dongri out of the Tang Pass. In that battle, the three countries suffered countless casualties. Among them, Long Zaiqian alone slaughtered tens of thousands of enemies and forced the allied forces of the two countries to retreat. Finally, the war stopped. However, Man Yi did not participate in that battle, which made Long Zaiqian very confused. Later, Long Zaiqian finally learned that it was Chu Chaosheng of the Tang Empire who used Yu Ruyan to threaten and ambush Man Yi. Man Yi was seriously injured, and his cultivation fell to the 8th level of the martial path. Not only that, Chu Chaosheng also took the opportunity to find the pigeon communication between Man Yi and Long Zaiqian, thus convicting Long Zaiqian of treason. In addition, at that time, many experts from the Heavenly Mandate Institute, a powerful force that Bei Yu Yao belonged to, were all dispatched to deal with Long Zaiqian. As for the reason why the Heavenly Mandate Institute disliked Long Zaiqian, of course, it was because of Bei Yu Yao's noble status. How could a country bumpkin like him be worthy of her? With the cooperation of Chu Chaosheng, many experts of the Heavenly Mandate Institute finally expelled Long Zaiqian from the Tang Empire after losing countless experts. They also captured Bei Yu Yao and brought her back to the Heavenly Mandate Institute, never to come out again. As for where Long Zaiqian was, ordinary people naturally could not know. Perhaps only the people of the Heavenly Mandate Institute and Chu Chaosheng knew. After Long Zaiqian was expelled from the Tang Empire, Long Yu was secretly brought to the Feng family by Feng Chang'e under the protection of the Long family's grandfather. In the entire Long family, only Long Yu's grandfather cared about him. Unfortunately, Long Zaiqian could not be protected at that time. The Heavenly Mandate Institute was too powerful. Even the Tang Empire's royal family had to bow in front of the people of the Heavenly Mandate Institute, let alone the Long family. From then on, Chu Chaosheng became the left duke of the Tang Empire and one of the most powerful people in the entire Tang Empire. As for Yu Rian, because of Chu Chaosheng's schemes, she lost her chastity to him and became pregnant with Chu Chaosheng's flesh and blood. However, Yu Rian couldn't forget Long Ziqian from start to finish. She refused to marry Chu Chaosheng no matter what. Later, Yu Rian took over as the leader of the Thousand Thread clan and gave birth to a daughter named Yu Qianing. Yu Qianing is a real descendant of the royal family. No wonder she dared to call herself Princess Qianxi, and no one dared to refute her. Long Yu's heart trembled. He finally knew the truth. In this way, when Bai Yunzong went to the Thousand Thread clan to demand an explanation for Elder Yu, he must have been hurt by Chu Chaosheng. At that time, that person that Bai Yunzong and the other elders of the Jintian clan were talking about could only be Chu Chaosheng. Like Long Ziqian, Bai Yunzong was another commander of the Tang Empire's martial army at that time, and had a good relationship with Long Ziqian. Naturally, Chu Chaosheng did not like him. No wonder Chu Chaosheng attacked clan leader Bai and agreed to use the martial arts competition of the 7 clans to decide the ownership of the heavenly suppression skill. A cold light flashed in Long Yu's eyes. Nearly 20 years after Chu Chaosheng banished Long Ziqian from the Tang Empire, he wanted to make a big move again, which was to weaken the influence of the 7 clans of the Tang Empire. As long as he obtained the skills of the 7 clans of the Tang Empire, the ruling power of the Tang Empire's royal family would become stronger and the 7 clans would become weaker and weaker. Yu Qianing's true strength has reached the 4th level of the secret realm of true spirit. She must have been secretly trained by Chu Chaosheng. No wonder she was so confident in winning the martial arts competition. Long Yu immediately felt the pressure on him increase. The 4th level of the secret realm of true spirit was still an unbeatable existence for him. Chapter 136. However, Long Yu did not give up. There were still 4 months until the martial competition of the 7 sects, and he still had a chance to improve. With the 9 Underworld Dragon Seal, he might be able to defeat Yu Qianing. Right? Apart from that, there's one more thing. Man, he did not lead the army to invade Great Tang. He has another goal. Feng Chang'e said as he looked towards the east. Another goal? Long Yu frowned as he ran. That's right. Feng Chang'e nodded. General Man, he said that he was ordered to block the Tang Pass to attract Great Tang's attention and stop most of the Tang martial army. Their real goal is the Wraith Lightning Pool. Wraith Lightning Pool? What's that? Long Yu could not help but ask as he had never heard of such a thing. Feng Chang'e explained, there's a Wraith Lightning Pool at the border of the 2 countries, and there's often thunder. Recently, it's been rumbling for a long time, and a great treasure is about to be born. The Prince of Gumeng sent General Man, Yi, and his son Man Xian to stop the people of Great Tang from going to the Wraith Lightning Pool. They want to take the treasure for themselves. In this way, even though the powerhouses couldn't stop them, they could at least stop most of the random people. The biggest taboo when fighting for treasure was chaos. Even the powerful prince of Gumeng valued the treasure of the Wraith Lightning Pool and would not allow anyone to take it away. For the sake of a great treasure, the Gumeng kingdom's little prince actually sacrificed the lives of so many soldiers to block the Tang Pass. Truly vicious and merciless. Long Yu said with a frown. That's right. The Prince of Gumeng is extremely talented, and he can even be compared to the top 9 young experts of Great Tang. Feng Chang'e sighed. Furthermore, his father is the king of Gumeng, and he might become the king of Gumeng in the future. He's definitely a great enemy of Great Tang. The structure of Gumeng and Great Tang was different. In Great Tang, the Imperial Chu clan, Generalong clan, and Mo clan were the 3 top clans, and they controlled most of the resources. In the ancient Ming Kingdom, there were 18 great kings who formed the Great King Hall to rule over the entire ancient Ming Kingdom. The father of the young man who was known as the Little Prince of Gumeng Kingdom was one of the 18 great kings of the Great King Palace, and his strength was ranked in the top 3. In the entire ancient Ming Kingdom, the Little Prince could be said to be omnipotent. In order to monopolize the heavenly thunder pool that had appeared at the border of the Great Tang Kingdom and the Ancient Ming Kingdom, the little prince of the Ancient Ming Kingdom had actually sent more than 100,000 soldiers to block the Tang Pass. One could see how powerful he was. "Godfather, how much do you know about the ghastly lightning pool?" Long Yu followed along and asked. Within the sky-piercing lightning pool, a great treasure was about to be born. This was a great temptation for Long Yu. Right now, he was extremely anxious to improve his strength. "All I know is that the heavenly lightning pool is filled with heavenly lightning all day long. This is especially true when a great treasure is about to be born. Anyone who steps into it will be smashed to pieces by the heavenly lightning." Feng Chang'e said, "This has always been a dangerous place between the two countries. If it wasn't for the treasures that appear every few years, I'm afraid no one would go there." Precious treasures were produced every few years. The sky-piercing lightning pool. When Long Yu heard this, he couldn't help but think of the Tai-yin mineral vein. It was the same, producing precious treasures and fragments of the Tai-yin every few years until Long Yu and Lu Yuan each took half of the Tai-yin heavenly tablet. Then, was the sky-piercing lightning pool the same? Until now, Long Yu still had no idea what the extreme yin heavenly tablet was used for. However, at least, with the help of the dragon seal of the 9 underworlds, the broken Ghost Valley wings have been transformed into the extreme yin wings, becoming a top-ranked spirit-ranked combat weapon. Moreover, this was definitely not the full power of the Tai-yin heavenly tablet. Sect leader Bai once said that the heavenly tablet can only be used by those who have reached the unity of heaven and man realm. Now that I have the Tai-yin heavenly tablet, there's no need to hurry. Long Yu thought to himself. However, if he had the chance to obtain another heavenly tablet, he naturally wouldn't mind having more. This sky-piercing lightning pool might also have a heavenly tablet hidden within. Just as Long Yu and Feng Chang'e were carrying the severed head of the old general, Man Yi, towards the direction of the Tang Pass, a figure clad in animal skin returned with a group of ancient Ming Kingdom's generals. This person was Man Yi's son, Man Xin. After hearing the news that his father had been kidnapped, Man Xin remained silent as he stood at the entrance of the camp. The other generals stood beside him, all of them silent like cicadas in winter, not daring to say a word. Report. Suddenly, a scout's voice came from afar. "The old general has been found." Man Xin, clad in animal skin, shifted his gaze towards the source of the voice. He saw his father's headless corpse being found by the scout and being carried back on a stretcher. "Yu Qianing, the hatred between us is absolutely irreconcilable." Man Xion's eyes flickered with hatred. "Major General, the old general wasn't killed by that woman, but an arrogant general called Hung Chong couldn't help but remind Man Xin." "Shut up. No one knows my father better than I do." Man Xian snorted. "Get everyone to come back. You guys can't kill Yu Qianing, so don't die in vain. As for that Long Yu, he's the son of my father's good friend. Don't look for trouble with him in the future." A hint of regret appeared in Man Xion's eyes as soon as he finished speaking. He hated himself for leaving his father behind and intercepting Long Ji. The war between the two countries was started by the little prince of the ancient Ming Kingdom alone. It wasn't a life-and-death battle. Although he had led his men to defeat the Tang Kingdom's Major General Long Ji, his father had been assassinated by Yu Qianing. Man Xian was very clear about his father's past. Yu Qianing's assassination of his father was definitely ordered by that person. The Tang Kingdom's left prince, Chu Chaosheng. "I'll settle all my old and new grudges with you one day." Man Xion's eyes flickered with hatred. Then, he waved his hand and roared, "Everyone, stay alert. No one is allowed to leave the Great Snow Mountain. Report to me immediately if anyone from the Tang Kingdom crosses the Great Snow Mountain." After saying that, he carried his father's corpse and stepped into the camp step by step. Man Xian wasn't an unreasonable person. On the contrary, he was extremely meticulous, and he naturally knew who his real enemy was. As the sun set, Long Yu and Feng Chang'e ran all the way, but they found it strange that the ancient Ming Kingdom's army did not chase after them. I've heard that the son of old General Man Xen, is extremely talented and meticulous. Feng Chang'e guessed. Perhaps Man Xen has returned to the camp and is leading the ancient Ming Kingdom's army to stop them from chasing after us. I met Man Xen once. Long Yu thought back to the madman in beast skin. At that time, he didn't know that the madman had such a relationship with him. Their fathers were the great generals of the Tang Kingdom and ancient Ming Kingdom 20 years ago. This meant that Man Xen already knew of Long Yu's identity. That was why he let him go when he led the army to surround Long Ji. Otherwise, it would have been easy to catch him. Man Xen knew that he and Long Yu had a common enemy, Chu Chaosheng of the Tang Kingdom's royal family. The death of his father, Man Yi, had nothing to do with Long Yu and Feng Chang'e. Even without Long Yu and Feng Chang'e, his father would still die. Although I haven't had any interaction with Man Xen, I'm looking forward to it. Long Yu thought in his heart, maybe one day in the future when he had to deal with Chu Chaosheng, Man Xen would lend him a helping hand. Of course, the current Long Yu is still too far away from being able to deal with Chu Chaosheng. Even Chu Chaosheng's daughter, Yu Qianing, was undefeatable to Long Yu, let alone the current Chu Chaosheng. Even White Cloud Trace was not Chu Chaosheng's match. Chu Chaosheng's strength was much stronger than Long Yu's when he returned from the Thousand Thread sect injured. That's right, Godfather. Why is the ancient sword in your hands? When they were about to reach the 7 great canyons of Tang Pass, Long Yu finally remembered something and asked. He remembered that this bronze ancient sword was not given to Feng Yao. Hearing Long Yu's question, Feng Chang'e sighed. Yao came to Jade Pass City to bid farewell to me. She left the ancient sword behind and left Tang Kingdom. Left Tang Kingdom? Where's she going? Long Yu frowned. He did not have any special feelings for Feng Yao. However, she was Feng Chang'e's daughter, so he was naturally surprised to hear that she had left Tang Kingdom. Feng Yao had been fighting for Lu Yuan since she was young. Could it be that the trip to the Ling family's mountain villa had provoked her? Lu Yuan was already an expert in the 2nd tier of the true spirit realm, while Feng Yao was still in the 8th tier of the martial path. Wang Tianjua's cultivation has been destroyed by you. Naturally, he will not cause trouble for Yao. However, if she wants to surpass Lu Yuan, her chances of staying in Tang Kingdom are slim. Feng Chang'e sighed. Now, I don't know where Yao is. I am very worried. I know that she has gone overboard in the past. However, if you meet her in the future, I hope that you will not make things difficult for her for the sake of Godfather. Long Yu did not speak. Feng Yao had gone overboard in the past. She had even sent her servants to kill him. If he had not awakened the Azure Dragon Mark at that time, he would have been a corpse by now. According to Long Yu's personality, there was no reason for him to let Feng Yao go. However, in this heavenly mandate continent, all living beings respected martial arts. With the dragon seal of the 9 underworlds, Long Yu had been advancing triumphantly. Feng Yao would never be able to catch up with him. She posed no threat to him. Since that was the case, for the sake of Feng Chang'e, Long Yu could let Feng Yao go. However, the premise was that Feng Yao would not provoke him again. Godfather, I promise you. Long Yu nodded solemnly. Then, he raised his head and saw the 7 great canyons leading to Tang Pass. Chapter 137. Tang Pass, 7 Grand Canyons. The 7 Great Canyons had already become the burial grounds of the armies of the Tang Empire and the ancient Ming Empire. Even the smallest first canyon had countless corpses of martial cultivators. Long Yu and Feng Chang'e were carrying the severed head of old General Man Yi as they walked through the snowy ground. Although Man Yi was killed by Yu Qianing, his head was in their hands. According to the laws of the Tang Empire, the credit belonged to Long Yu and Feng Chang'e. There seems to be no one in the canyons. Long Yu listened to the cold wind in the canyons, but didn't sense any living beings. He couldn't help feeling puzzled. In the past, even if it was not a time of war, the Tang Empire would definitely send some patrol squads to guard the canyon, unlike now, where there was no one. According to what you said, Man Xin led the army to kill Long Ji. Did something happen to Long Ji? Feng Chang'e frowned and guessed. No matter what, we'll know when we get back. Long Yu raised his head and looked at the 7 Grand Canyons. He chose the 3rd canyon with the widest path. This canyon was the least dangerous because the terrain was flat. If there was an ambush, it would be discovered at a glance. The two walked towards the Tang Pass and soon saw the entire Tang Pass stronghold. The gates were tightly shut, and there were only a few watchtowers on the walls. There were many Tang Empire soldiers on them. Looking at the watchtowers, seeing Long Yu and Feng Chang'e, the expressions of the great Tang Empire's martial army changed. It was Long Yu, a traitor, and he was wearing the bronze armor of an enemy general. Get ready, fire. The leader of the watchtowers immediately gave the order, his eyes flashing with fanaticism. Not long ago, Major General Long Ji returned to the Tang Pass and announced that Long Yu was a traitor, and if he was encountered, he would be killed without mercy. The leader of the watchtowers never thought that the traitor Long Yu would appear in front of him at this time. If he could kill Long Yu, wouldn't he have made a great contribution and become friends with Major General Long Ji? However, just as everyone was about to shoot, Long Yu snorted coldly. He held Man Yi's head in his hand and shouted, "Open your eyes and take a good look. This is the head of Man Yi, the old general of ancient Ming. Open the city gate now." As soon as he said that, everyone on the city wall was shocked. The old general of Guming, Man Yi. There was no one in the army who did not know of this name, who didn't know that in the war between the 3 kingdoms more than 10 years ago, the Guming kingdom used this method to invade the hinterland of the Tang Empire. Although his cultivation was later destroyed by the left prince Chu Chaoshan, this old man, he was still a nightmare for many people. The fathers of many people in the army had died at the hands of the military army led by old General Man Yi. It could be said that old General Man Yi was still a great enemy of the Tang Empire. But now, Long Yu was holding his head and appeared at the gate of Tang Pass. Are we going to open the gate? Many people were puzzled. The traitor appeared with the head of the enemy's commander. This kind of thing was really unbelievable. Could it be that Long Yu pretended to be a traitor in order to get close to the enemy? Go and report to the Major General first. The leader of the military army immediately knew that this matter was not something that he, a small captain, could decide. He had to report to Major General Long Ji. Although Long Ji was seriously injured and ordered that no one was allowed to disturb him, the Major General should be concerned about the matter of the traitor Long Yu, right? Pass on the Major General's order, open the gate. Soon, the messenger came back with the news. Open the gate. The leader of the military army immediately ordered. Of course, he did not dare to disobey Major General Long Ji's order. Following this order, the tightly shut city gates of Tang Pass finally opened again. When Long Yu passed through the open gate, the first thing he saw was a familiar figure in black tights, who was walking to the gate to welcome him. "Senior brother Bu," Long Yu greeted. "Ah, junior brother." Bu laughed loudly. "Although I knew that you would not disappoint me, I did not expect that you would come back with the head of the enemy's commander. What a surprise." Long Yu did not say anything. After exchanging a look with Feng Chang'e, he stepped into Tang Pass. Bu was the only one who came to welcome Long Yu. The atmosphere in the whole Tang Pass seemed a little depressed, which made Long Yu even more puzzled. After entering Tang Pass, Long Yu came to Bu's side and asked in a low voice, "Senior brother Bu, did something happen in the Great Army? Why don't I see Long Ji?" Hearing Long Yu's question, a smile appeared in Bu's eyes. Long Ji was besieged by the enemy's Major General Man Xin and was seriously injured. He is now in seclusion and has issued a ban that no one is allowed to go out. Long Ji was seriously injured. This news made Long Yu's face change slightly. So that was it. It seemed that the Guming Kingdom's Major General Man Xin was indeed extraordinary. His ability to lead troops was much stronger than Long Ji's. It was a pity that Man Xin did not expect that Yu Qianning would appear and assassinate his father. How was the Major General's injury? Is his martial arts cultivation level all right? Long Yu asked with a smile. Long Ji's injury was good news for Long Yu. His martial arts cultivation level should be fine, but the blood dragon true spirit was defeated. The enemy was too ruthless. If Qi Xiaoxue had not arrived in time, he would not have returned alive. Bu shook his head. Qi Xiaoxue. When Long Yu heard this name, he could not help but think of the Jianghu martial cultivator he met before entering Tang Pass. The middle-aged man in a fur coat had a determined and dignified look in his eyes. Who would have thought that in the end, it was a Jianghu martial cultivator who led the troops to rescue Long Ji from death? This was probably something that Long Ji could not have imagined. Long Ji didn't die. That's fine. I'll take your life myself. Long Yu thought to himself. Of course, he couldn't leave his opponent to someone else. Although Long Ji's strength was tyrannical, Long Yu had to defeat him in order to step into a higher realm of martial arts. Only by setting up targets and defeating them one by one would Long Yu's heart of martial arts become more stable. All right, Senior Brother Bu, did you see Yu Qianing? Long Yu suddenly thought of something and asked. She came to Tang Pass. Bu Fong said seriously, but she only said that you are a traitor, then left Tang Pass. I don't know where she went. Senior Brother Bu, do you know that she has reached the 4th level of true spirit realm? Long Yu asked with a frown. What? Bu Fong was stunned. 4th level of true spirit realm? How is that possible? Didn't she just step into true spirit realm? Bu Wong subconsciously asked back. When Long Yu heard this, he immediately knew that Yu Qianing definitely had a way to conceal her martial Dao realm, making it impossible for others to see through her strength. Then, Long Yu roughly told him what happened in the Gumeng Kingdom's camp. Of course, there was no need to tell him about the grudges of his father 20 years ago. So, old General Man, he was assassinated by her. But his head was brought back by you. So according to Great Tang's laws, the credit belongs to you. Bu Fong said in a deep voice. So, Yu Qianing will be my greatest opponent in the 7-clan competition 4 months from now. Long Yu did not tell Bu Fong about the heavenly lightning pool. He planned to go there alone, because it was too dangerous. Even if he were to fall into the hands of the Gumeng Kingdom's prince, he would be dead. Since the war has come to an end, I will return to Jade Pass City with my adoptive father. Long Yu said, Don't be in such a hurry. Bu Fong smiled. You took old General Man Yi's head, which is a great merit. You will definitely be rewarded. Qi Xiaoxue's reward will be held in 3 days. As for you, it should be the same. Qi Xiaoxue led the people to save Long Ji, which was a great merit. Long Yu brought back old General Man Yi's head, which was also a great merit. Originally, Long Yu thought that he would meet Yu Qianing and argue with her, but she did not stay in Tang Pass and left. Could it be that she went to the heavenly lightning pool as soon as possible? Long Yu thought to himself. He felt that the possibility was not small. However, he had used up a lot of his energy, so he could not leave immediately. Resting in Tang Pass for 3 days was good, and he could also see what rewards the military would give him. For the next 3 days, Long Yu rested alone in Tang Pass. At the same time, he cultivated the top-grade spirit-level martial technique, awakening reincarnation, and comprehended the power of the half-lunar heaven tablet. During this time, the news that Long Yu brought back the head of the enemy's commander, old General Man Yi, spread throughout the entire Tang Pass and was known by the 100,000 martial army. In this way, no one would think that Long Yu was a traitor. As for the accusation that Long Ji had put on him, that he had colluded with the Gumeng deputy general to kill Huofu, when Bu Fong released the imprint of the true spirit, it also fell apart. The entire Tang Pass martial army saw Long Yu as a hero. In this situation, Long Ji, who was still heavily injured, could not stop it. He could only give the order to also reward Long Yu according to his merits. Old General Man Yi's head made Long Yu suddenly become innocent and meritorious, making him a hero in the eyes of the martial army. This matter had a far-reaching impact, making Long Yu feel grateful towards old General Man Yi. Old General, don't worry. Not only for you, but for myself. One day I will kill that Chu Chaosheng. Within 3 days, Long Yu had made up his mind, and 3 days later, the reward ceremony finally began. Major General Long Ji was heavily injured and could not participate. Only the bald General Yin Shan presided. In the largest square of Tang Pass, old General Man Yi's head was hung at the highest point to show military might. And tens of thousands of people gathered in the square to discuss the merits and rewards. This battle had temporarily come to an end, and the ones who made the most contributions were obviously Qi Xiaoxue, who saved Long Ji, and Long Yu, who brought back the head of the enemy's commander. Everyone was discussing, not knowing what kind of rewards the military would give these two. Old General, after the reward ceremony is over, I will leave Tang Pass with you and return to our homeland. Long Yu stood at the front of the crowd, raised his head, and looked at old General Man Yi's head, his eyes flashing with awe. Man Yi's actions had already won Long Yu's respect. Chapter 138. In the Tang Pass, tens of thousands of soldiers gathered in the square. Although the war with the Gumeng Kingdom was short, there were many people who made great contributions. Among them, the most praised were naturally Qi Xiaoxue and Long Yu. Qi Xiaoxue, although only at the second level of the true spirit realm, had a keen sense of the battlefield and rescued Major General Long Ji at the critical moment. And Long Yu, after being misunderstood as a traitor, actually snuck into the Gumeng Kingdom's camp and brought back the head of the enemy's old general, Man Yi. These two were the main characters of this reward ceremony. As for Major General Long Ji, he was seriously injured and did not even appear. The bald General Yin Shan, in the middle of the square, gnashed his teeth and announced Long Yu's great achievements. Yin Shan was Long Ji's man. Long Ji was seriously injured, but this Long Yu had made a great contribution and was going to be rewarded. This naturally made Yin Shan extremely unhappy, but now the entire military was spreading Long Yu's contributions, and the evidence was conclusive. No matter how much Long Ji wanted to frame Long Yu, it was impossible. The 100,000 soldiers were not blind. If Long Ji forcefully went against Long Yu, it would greatly affect his own prestige. This was related to half of his life in the military, so of course he would not be stupid. As for Long Yu, Long Ji was not in a hurry to deal with him. In his eyes, Long Yu did not pose any threat to him. Of course, the most important thing was that even the royal family had spoken, so Long Ji could not go against the royal family's orders. Jinqian clan core disciple Long Yu has brought back the head of the enemy's old general, Man Yi. This matter has been reported to the royal family. Yin Shan, in the middle of the square, fiercely announced, Left Duke Chu Chaosheng has ordered the royal family to reward him with a top-grade spirit-level pill. Long Yu Golden Pill. Long Yu Golden Pill. As soon as these four words came out, the entire Tang Pass was instantly stirred. The Long Yu Golden Pill could be said to be the highest-level reward in the Tang army. Not only did it contain dense heaven and earth spiritual qi, it also represented a kind of glory. Since ancient times, those who were rewarded with a Long Yu Golden Pill by the royal family had all become top experts of the Tang Empire. This Feng Chang'e, who was standing next to Long Yu, was stunned. How could it be possible that the Long Yu Golden Pill could be said to be the highest-level pill in the Tang Empire? Long Yu Golden Pill could be said to be the highest level of pills in the Tang Empire? A single pill could allow an ordinary person to condense their true spirit, or even allow a true spirit secret realm expert to increase a realm. Long of you, golden of. Long of long of you. Long of boo was also shocked. Even if it was easy to kill the enemy's old general, this merit shouldn't be enough to reward Long Yu with a golden pill, right? Furthermore, Bu Bu also knew that this left Prince Chu Chaosheng seemed to have quite a grudge with Long Yu, and had even injured his master, White Cloud Track. There must be something fishy about this. A light flashed in Long Yu's eyes. Although tens of thousands of people were envious that he had obtained the Long of Yu Golden Pill, he was on his guard. He and the left Duke of Chu Chaosheng had never met before. Was bringing back Man Yi's head enough for him to be rewarded with the highest honor of the Tang Empire? Long Yu would never believe this. This Long of you golden pill must be hiding something. Long Yu squinted his eyes and walked up to the stage. Under the envious gaze of Yin Shan, Long Yu received a luxurious mahogany box. Inside the box was the best pill in the entire Tang Empire, the Long of you golden pill. There was only one alchemist in the entire Tang Empire who could refine the Long of you golden pill, and that person only served the royal family of the Chu family. Long Yu held the luxurious mahogany box and returned to where he stood before. He did not act rashly. Now is not the time to study the Long of you golden pill. Martial cultivator Qi Xiaoxue, for leading the people to rescue Commander Long Ji, is rewarded with a high-grade spirit pill, a snow essence pill, and a high-grade spirit combat weapon, the Dragon Enslaved Battle Armor. In addition, the land of the Ling family manor within a radius of 500 li is Qi Xiaoxue's territory. Yin Shan continued to announce Qi Xiaoxue's reward: a high-grade spirit pill, a defensive combat weapon, and a land of 500 li. This reward was quite good for a martial cultivator like Qi Xiaoxue, and it matched with the contributions she had made. But Long Yu was stunned when he heard this. The Tang Empire's imperial army had given the Ling family manor to Qi Xiaoxue. Thank you, imperial army, for the reward. Qi Xiaoxue, wearing a brown fur coat, stepped forward and received the high-grade pill, high-grade combat weapon, and a jade token that represented her position as the master of the Ling family manor. I heard that the yin qi in the Ling family manor has been dissipating for years, and it is no longer of any value to the imperial army. Bufang squinted his eyes. Using a useless piece of land to exchange for the loyalty of an expert, the imperial army's plan is indeed not bad. Long Yu did not say anything, but he could not help but think of Ling Han. Would Qi Xiaoxue harm Ling Han and Ling Yue by going to the Ling family manor? No matter what, Long Yu planned to interact with Qi Xiaoxue again. Then, many of the deputy generals under General Yin Shan began to reward other martial cultivators and soldiers. The more enemies they killed, the more rewards they would receive. Among them, the martial cultivators who followed Qi Xiaoxue to rescue Long Ji were all rewarded with decent combat weapons, which greatly increased their combat power. But this was reasonable. After all, in order to save Long Ji, Qi Xiaoxue led many martial cultivators, and at least a few hundred of them died. This was a contribution made with human lives. Because of this, Qi Xiaoxue had a serious expression on her face. Although she was rewarded, she did not look happy at all. This caused Long Yu to have a higher opinion of Qi Xiaoxue. This Qi Xiaoxue should also be a person who valued friendship and righteousness. The entire rewards ceremony lasted for an entire day. After it was over, the tens of thousands of people dispersed. Basically, everyone received some rewards. However, Bu Feng and Feng Chang'e did not appear on the list of rewards. To Long Ji, he was seriously injured, but junior brother Long Yu was rewarded with the golden elixir. Of course, the Long family's major general would not be happy. Bu Feng smiled, not minding that there was no reward. It was the left Duke, Chu Chaoxing's order to reward you. As for me and your godfather, Long Ji would not be generous enough to reward us. I'm already old. I don't care about rewards anymore. Feng Chang'e sighed and said, Foster father, can you recover from the injuries you suffered back then? Long Yu looked at Feng Chang'e and asked, My injuries are exactly the same as old General Man Yi's. My heavenly veins are blocked. It is said that I can only recover with healing elixirs of a higher grade than the spiritual level. Feng Chang'e shook his head. The golden elixir of Long Ji is the highest grade of elixir in the Tang Empire. How is it possible to get a better elixir? It is basically impossible to cure my heavenly veins. You don't have to think too much about it. You should focus on your own cultivation. All right, Long Yu nodded. It was impossible for him to get a healing elixir of a higher grade than the spiritual level. However, this did not mean that he would give up. If he could cure Feng Chang'e's injuries, he would be able to return to his previous martial arts realm and become a powerful martial arts cultivator again. In the Heavenly Mandate continent, the martial arts cultivators were respected. Feng Chang'e had endured humiliation for 20 years. He probably wanted to regain his former strength, even in his dreams. However, even old General Man Yi, who was respected by the people of Gumeng, could not recover. This showed how difficult it was to get such a healing elixir. Now that this is over, I should go back. After the crowd dispersed, Feng Chang'e took a warhorse and got ready to leave. Will the people of Gumeng attack again for revenge after their old general was killed? Bu Fu frowned slightly. I'm afraid not. Long Yu shook his head. He did not tell them about the Thunderbolt pool. He only said, both sides have suffered losses. Even if the Gumeng kingdom came, they would not be able to break through the Tang Pass. They should not be so stupid as to increase the casualties. That's right. In that case, I should go back. Bu Fu's eyes were filled with anticipation. After fighting with the enemy general, I feel that I am about to break through the bottleneck of my cultivation. When I go back and cultivate in seclusion, I might be able to condense the heavenly eagle real spirit into a physical body and break through to the fourth tier of the true spirit's secret realm. Then, senior brother Bu, please protect my adoptive father. Long Yu laughed. I have to go and find that Qi Xiaoxue to have a chat. Aren't we leaving together? Bu Fu was a little surprised. No, senior brother, breaking through the bottleneck is more important. Otherwise, you might lose to Yu Qining in the 7-clan martial competition. Long Yu said, shaking his head. That's right. Bu Fu said solemnly. In that case, junior brother, you must be careful. Although Long Ji is seriously injured, he has many lackeys under him. Don't let him set you up again. Senior brother, don't worry. I will be careful. Long Yu nodded solemnly. Bu Fu and Feng Chang'e left the Tang Pass together on horseback and headed in the direction of the Jintian clan. As for Long Yu, he turned around and headed in the direction of Wu Jun's residence in the Tang Pass. Qi Xiaoxue and the other martial cultivators were temporarily resting in this residence. Long Yu had to find Qi Xiaoxue to ask about the Ling family's manor and what her plans were for the future. Once this matter was settled, he would head to the Heavenly Thunderbolt pool to see if there were any opportunities to obtain any benefits. Is Brother Qi here? Long Yu arrived at the residence and casually found a martial cultivator who was resting and asked him. When the man saw that it was Long Yu, he was shocked and quickly stood up. Boss Qi is resting inside. He said that if General Long comes to find him, he must take you to see him. General Long? Long Yu was a little puzzled by this title, but many people in the Tang Pass martial army called him that. Perhaps it was because of his father's influence. But in fact, Long Yu was not a member of the army at all. He was just a core disciple of the Jintian clan. Long Yu was a little surprised that Qi Xiaoxue was waiting for him, but this was also a good thing. It saved him a lot of trouble. He followed the martial cultivator into one of the wooden houses in the snow. He saw Qi Xiaoxue sitting in front of a table, resting with her eyes closed. Chapter 139. After bringing Long Yu to Qi Xiaoxue's room, the martial cultivator who led the way took his leave. Brother Qi, how did you know I was coming? Long Yu asked. Brother Long Yu, I know you are from the Jintian clan, and know Ling Han from the Ling family villa. Qi Xiaoxue stood up and smiled sincerely. We martial practitioners have always been well informed. Now that there is no In Qi in the Ling family villa, I'm afraid it has something to do with you. Brother Qi is amazing. Long Yu narrowed his eyes. Brother Long Yu, don't be nervous. I have no ill intentions towards you. Qi Xiaoxue waved her hand. I know you don't get along with Major General Long Yu, but we martial practitioners have to seize the opportunity to save him. Otherwise, we won't be able to get any cultivation resources. I hope Brother Long Yu can understand this. That's fine. Long Yu shook his head and didn't take it to heart. Brother Qi, do you have any plans for the Ling family villa? No plans. Qi Xiaoxue laughed. I don't like to stay in one place. I will probably give the Ling family villa to someone else. I see. Long Yu could tell that Qi Xiaoxue was used to wandering. He would probably suffocate to death if he stayed in one place. Brother Long Yu, don't worry. Your friend Ling Han will definitely be fine. As Qi Xiaoxue spoke, Her expression became a little solemn. I'm afraid there might be a problem with the Long Yu golden pill that little brother obtained. These words caused Long Yu's expression to change slightly. He didn't expect that even Qi Xiaoxue could see the problem with the Long Yu golden pill. Brother Qi, can you explain it to me? Long Yu asked. I don't know the details, but Qi Xiaoxue narrowed her eyes. I heard that the left duke, Chu Chaosheng, is good at manipulating people. There might be some unspeakable secrets in the Long Yu golden pill. However, I don't know the specifics. Brother Long Yu, you have to be careful. Don't get tricked. Thank you, Brother Qi, I will be careful. Long Yu nodded. In any case, the Long Yu golden core contained extremely rich heaven and earth spiritual qi, which was extremely important to Long Yu. If Long Yu were to consume this Long Yu golden pill, he would definitely be able to step into the second level of the true spirit realm. That way, his basic strength would be doubled, and with the help of the supreme spiritual level martial skill, Samsarat Awakening Palm, he would be able to fight against a fourth-rank true spirit realm martial artist for a while. Ordinary third-rank true spirit realm cultivators were no match for Long Yu. As for what was wrong with Long Yu's golden core, Long Yu did not know. However, he was different from ordinary people. He had the 9 Underworld Dragon Seal on his chest. He could let the 9 Underworld's Dragon Seal absorb the heaven and earth spiritual qi from the Long Yu golden core. That way, he wouldn't need to consume the Long Yu golden core to cultivate. If he only absorbed spiritual qi, there shouldn't be any problem. After chatting with Qi Xiaoxue, Long Yu took his leave and returned to the snow log cabin where he had rested for 3 days, ready to absorb the Long Yu golden core. In Tang Pass, apart from high-ranking military officers, the places ordinary military soldiers lived in were all simple and crude snow wooden houses. For Long Yu, this wasn't a big deal. Long Yu's golden core, a supreme spiritual level pill. I want to see what Left Duke Chu Chaosheng wants to do to me. Long Yu's eyes flashed. He sat alone in the log cabin and took out the Long Yu golden core. To prevent accidents, he used the 9 Underworld's Dragon Seal to block the leakage of spiritual qi from the Long Yu golden core, so that others would not know that he was absorbing the Long Yu golden core and secretly attack him. Soon, he held the Long Yu golden core in his hand and activated the 9 Underworld Dragon Seal with his Xian Qi, allowing the 9 Underworld Dragon Seal to absorb the heaven and earth spiritual qi from the Long Yu golden core. Wisps of extremely pure spiritual qi were absorbed and stored by the 9 Underworld's Dragon Seal. The Snow Essence Pill rewarded to Qi Xiaoxue is an upper spiritual level pill, but Olbai has already given it to me. If I take it again, the effect will only be half of the first time. Long Yu thought to himself. Otherwise, he would have used an upper spiritual level combat weapon to exchange for the Snow Essence Pill with Qi Xiaoxue. When he killed Huafu of the Fire Temple with a 9 Underworld's explosive flow, he took away the Flame Explosion Jade Talisman in his hand. The value of this upper spiritual level combat weapon was not low. It was enough to exchange for an upper spiritual level pill. Now, if Long Yu wanted to improve his martial arts realm, the most important thing was the lack of pills or inner cores of demonic beasts. As for bottlenecks, he had not encountered many since he started cultivating. However, the Flame Explosion Jade Talisman was most useful for martial cultivators who practice fire-controlling martial skills. Qi Xiaoxue would probably not exchange it with the Snow Essence Pill. This was also one of the reasons why Long Yu did not propose to exchange it. As the Dragon Seal of the 9 Underworlds continued to absorb the spiritual qi from Long Yu's golden elixir, Long Yu began to cultivate with the spiritual qi, preparing to break through the martial arts realm. With the upper spiritual level pill and the Snow Essence Pill given by Old Bai, Long Yu should have no problem breaking through to the second tier of the true spirit secret realm. Bursts of rich spiritual qi were absorbed by the Dragon Seal of the 9 Underworlds, then entered Long Yu's body and was converted into qi through his dantian. At this moment, the heaven veins in his body had been completely connected. However, after entering the true spirit's secret realm, the heaven veins could still be refined. As the qi in Long Yu's body became more and more abundant, it quickly filled his meridians and dantian. Then, he began to use qi to break through the heaven veins. He wanted to make the heaven veins thicker and more compatible with the heaven and earth. He wrapped the heaven veins tightly with qi and could feel that the heaven and earth seemed to be resonating with him more and more. On the heavenly mandate continent, the path of martial arts was to refine one's body with the spiritual qi of heaven and earth, and finally reach the legendary realm of oneness of heaven and man. Long, you had completely connected the heaven veins and built a good foundation for real cultivation. As the snow essence pill stored in the dragon seal of the 9 underworlds was completely absorbed by Long Yu, his heaven veins became thicker and more condensed under the refinement of qi. Then, he absorbed the spiritual qi of the Long Yu golden elixir and began to refine the real spirit shadow in his dantian. The first 3 tiers of the true spirit secret realm were to refine the heaven veins and refine the real spirit shadow. These 2 processes required extremely rich spiritual qi of heaven and earth. Without the help of elixirs or inner cores of demonic beasts, it would take at least 3 to 5 years for an ordinary person to achieve this. Moreover, ordinary people would encounter a lot of bottlenecks when trying to break through any realm in the true spirit secret realm. I have the real spirit of the sun and the real spirit of the 9 underworlds in my dantian. Both of them need to be refined before I can enter the 2nd tier of the true spirit secret realm. Long Yu thought to himself. This way, the amount of spiritual qi he needed to break through to the next realm far exceeded that of ordinary martial cultivators. Putting everything else aside, just the dragon of the 9 underworlds' true spirit alone was a powerful true spirit of an unknown grade, and it would require an incomparably large amount of spiritual energy to completely refine it. If it wasn't for the Long Yu golden elixir, Long Yu definitely wouldn't be able to break through to the 2nd tier of the true spirit secret realm so quickly. Real spirit of the sun, condense. Long Yu absorbed the spiritual qi of the Long Yu golden elixir and carefully refined the real spirit of the sun. This was an action that required extreme caution. If he was careless, he might fail at the last step. Wasting the spiritual qi of the elixirs was a small matter. The key was that if he failed to break through this time, the next breakthrough would require even more spiritual qi and would be even more difficult. For an entire day, Long Yu absorbed the Long Yu golden elixir in the wooden hut and cultivated. During this period of time, no one came to disturb him. In the beginning, Long Yu wasn't clear about the reason and had many doubts. Logically speaking, if Long Ji wanted him dead, why wouldn't he take such a good opportunity? However, as the spiritual qi of the Long Yu golden elixir was absorbed by the dragon seal of the 9 underworlds, Long Yu finally understood everything. There was indeed something wrong with the Long Yu golden elixir. It seems like Chu Chaosheng purposely added the remaining dregs. I absorbed all the spiritual qi, so these dregs were naturally left behind. Long Yu looked at the dregs of the Long Yu golden elixir in his hand and revealed a cold smile. He had seen the appearance of these residue before in the Foam Clan's library. It was actually made from grinding a strange herb, and the name of this strange herb was grasping heartgrass. The effect of the heart-grasping grass, as the name suggested, was to control the mind of the person under its control. If an ordinary person was rewarded with such a Long Yu golden elixir, they would happily swallow it. From now on, that person would become the puppet of the left Duke, Chu Chaosheng. You actually had such an idea. Unfortunately, you never thought that I would have something like the dragon seal of the 9 underworlds. Long Yu sneered. He didn't expect that the left Duke, Chu Chaosheng, would make a move on him so soon after his identity was exposed. If Chu Chaosheng were to succeed this time, then Chu Chaosheng would be proud. The son of the former great General Long Zaiqian had become his lackey. Unfortunately, Chu Chaosheng completely miscalculated the first time he attacked Long Yu. Without any hesitation, Long Yu threw away the dregs of the heart-grasping grass and began his final sprint. All the spiritual qi in the Long Yu golden elixir was absorbed by Long Yu. 30% of the spiritual qi in the Long Yu golden elixir was used by Long Yu to refine the Sun true spirit to the second layer of the true spirit realm. The remaining 70% of the spiritual chi was used to refine the dragon seal of the 9 underworlds. It could be seen that after Long Yu stepped into the true spirit realm, he would need to consume 2 to 3 times more spiritual chi than an ordinary martial cultivator. Chu Chaosheng, I have to thank you for this Long Yu golden elixir. Long Yu sneered as he used all the spiritual chi in his body to refine the dragon seal of the 9 underworlds. After the power of the heaven-suppressing sun was refined, the pressure it could release was at least twice as strong as before. If the dragon seal of the 9 underworlds was released after being refined by Long Yu, it would be enough to shock anyone in the 4th layer of the true spirit realm. Of course, unless it was absolutely necessary, Long Yu would never release the dragon seal of the 9 underworlds because it was too evil. Finally, after a day and a night, Long Yu finished his cultivation. Chapter 140. He had finally stepped into the LV2 of the true spirit realm. As Long Yu stood up, a pondering look appeared in his eyes. Chu Chaosheng added the heart-grasping grass into the golden core of Long Yu. Now that I haven't fallen for it, he will definitely take action against me. There are still 4 months before the martial competition of the 7 sects begins. During this time, I should not appear in Chu Chaosheng's sight. It won't be too late for me to return when the martial competition of the 7 sects begins. During the martial competition of the 7 sects, all the martial cultivators in the Great Tang Kingdom would be focused on it. Chu Chaosheng would not be able to do anything. Furthermore, the sect master and the elders would be there, so it would be much safer. The martial competition of the 7 sects was a stage for the younger generation of the Great Tang Kingdom's 7 sects to compete with each other. The so-called younger generation referred to youths below the age of 25, and their martial Dao realm should not be lower than the LV8 of the martial path. Bufu had told Long Yu that he was ranked 8th among the top 9 young experts of the Great Tang Kingdom, while Duan Mia from the Broken Blade sect was ranked 9th. Of the top 7, more than half of them were from the clans, not the 7 sections. Bufu was considered one of the strongest among the younger generation of the 7 sections. Even if he were to fight Duan Mia, it would be hard to tell who would win. But now, it seemed that there were many people like Yu Qianing who had hidden their strength. If I want to defeat Yu Qianing in the martial competition of the 7 sects, I need to increase my martial Dao realm by another level within these 4 months. Furthermore, Yu Qianing cannot stay stagnant. I need to be prepared for her to step into the LV5 of the true spirit realm. If I want to achieve my goal, I need to kill continuously in these 4 months. Long Yu recalled what Feng Chang'e had told him not long ago. The place where the wings of the Ghost Valley were refined was called the Ghost Valley of the Sky Soul. This place was ruled by demonic beasts, and its area was comparable to the Great Tang Kingdom and ancient Ming Kingdom. Moreover, the Ghost Valley was located at the border of the Tang Kingdom, the Guming Kingdom, and the Dongri Kingdom. It was the main hunting ground for the powerful martial cultivators from the 3 kingdoms. The Jianghu martial cultivators did not have the cultivation resources of sects, clans, and other forces. If they wanted to quickly increase their martial Dao realm, they could only rely on fighting outside. Hunting demonic beasts was one of the main ways. By hunting demonic beasts and seizing their inner cores, one would be able to absorb the demonic chi within and raise one's cultivation. Even if the effects of the second inner core were greatly reduced after killing 2 identical demonic beasts, making it not worthwhile to consume it, he could still use it to exchange with others. Inner elixirs, and battle weapons were all recognized as cultivation resources in the Heavenly Mandate continent. Many people would be willing to exchange them for something of equal value. For example, Elder Bai of the Jintian clan went to the imperial city of Great Tang to exchange for combat weapons after refining the elixirs. There are many places to hunt demonic beasts. There are no less than 100 places in the Great Tang Empire, just like the soaring serpent abyss in the heaven-suppressing mountain range. However, Long Yu did not want to go back to the Great Tang Empire now, lest Chu Chaosheng assassinate him. Moreover, there were not many demonic beasts in the true spirit's secret realm in the hunting places in the Great Tang Empire. For Long Yu, it was not very helpful. With my current strength, if I go to the periphery of the Tianhun Ghost Valley to hunt demonic beasts, I should not encounter too much danger. In that case, I'll go to the Heavenly Thunder Pool to take a look. If I can't make it, I'll go to the Tianhun Ghost Valley. Long Yu quickly made a decision. He stepped out of the cabin in the snow. It was nighttime, and the sky was a little gloomy. The moon was dim, and the stars were dim. In the entire Tang Pass, most people were resting. Only a few people were still patrolling cautiously, guarding against the attack of the ancient Meng martial army at any time. In the darkness of the night, Long Yu held the 9-yu dragon spear and performed the soaring dragon of the nether. When he jumped to the highest point, he turned into the ghost Qi and disappeared in mid-air. In the next moment, he had already appeared in the canyon outside Tang Pass. Long Yu had asked Feng Chang'e about the location of the Heavenly Thunder Pool, so he would not get lost. To get to the Heavenly Thunder Pool from the Tang Pass, he had to pass through the Great Snow Mountain where the ancient Meng martial army was. For ordinary martial cultivators, it was extremely difficult to pass through the Great Snow Mountain without making a sound. But for Long Yu, it was not a problem at all. Not only that, experts with higher martial cultivation would not be stopped by the Great Snow Mountain or the ancient Meng martial army. For example, Yu Qianing. Yu Qianing's cultivation had reached level 4 of the true spirit's secret realm. If she wanted to go to the Heavenly Thunder Pool, no one would be able to stop her. But with only a few experts, even if they reached the Heavenly Thunder Pool, they would definitely be stopped by the little prince of the ancient Meng kingdom. One had to know that the little prince of the ancient Meng kingdom not only had a terrifying martial cultivation, but he also led countless ancient Meng martial army to guard the Heavenly Thunder Pool. A pair of gray wings flashed behind Long Yu's back. Black ripples of light circulated, allowing him to run wildly in the snow. Along the way, the snow was white under the moonlight. Long Yu turned into a gray flowing light and was extremely inconspicuous. 3 days ago, when he was comprehending the power of the lunar heavenly tablet, he had a better understanding of the lunar qi. At this moment, the effect of the lunar wings on increasing his speed was stronger than before. In the night, Long Yu moved quickly. Unknowingly, he had arrived near the Great Snow Mountain where the ancient Meng kingdom's camp was. He did not run towards the camp, but entered the Great Snow Mountain directly. He went around the ancient Meng kingdom's patrolling martial army and headed deep into the Great Snow Mountain. The Heavenly Thunder Pool was located deep in the Great Snow Mountain. At this moment, Long Yu suddenly sensed a figure that was as light as the wind chasing after him at an incomparably fast speed. Who is it? Long Yu's heart skipped a beat, and he immediately became alert. However, the other party's speed was faster than he had imagined. In an instant, the other party had caught up with him and was now walking side by side with him. Long Yu looked through the air and saw a young man in green with his hands behind his back. A scabbard hung at his waist as he walked through the Great Snow Mountain in the cold night wind. An aura similar to the lunar heavenly tablet came from the scabbard. This person's cultivation is higher than Long Ji and Yu Qianing's. He is at least at the 5th tier of the true spirit realm. Long Yu made a judgment in an instant. His eyes flashed. The long sword on his back exudes lunar qi and such a strong cultivation, coupled with the fact that he looks to be less than 25 years old. This person must be the young genius of the Mo family of the Xiang clan, Mo Fengming. Mo Fengming had obtained a lunar fragment 5 years ago and used it to forge a lunar longsword. From then on, he rose to prominence in the Great Tang Kingdom and became one of the 9 great young experts of the Tang Kingdom. Currently, he was ranked 3rd. His cultivation was much higher than Fu Shou's. If he were to face Fu Shou, he would probably only need one move to defeat Fu Shou. At this moment, the green-clothed Mo Fengming was walking with Long Yu on the Great Snow Mountain at night. He glanced at him from afar, then ignored him and quickly walked forward, disappearing from Long Yu's sight. Long Yu saw a hint of playfulness in Mo Fengming's eyes. It was obvious that Mo Fengming had recognized Long Yu's identity. the Mo family of the Xiang clan and the Long family of the General clan. Although they are both top families in the Great Tang Kingdom, they do not like each other. Long Yu narrowed his eyes as he walked. It was not that Mo Fengming had no enmity towards Long Yu, but that he wanted to use Long Yu to exhaust the Long family of the General clan's strength. He might even cause trouble for the Chu clan. Facing both the Long family of the General clan and Chu Chaosheng at the same time, I definitely won't bother with the Mo family of the Xiang clan. This way, the Mo family of the Xiang clan can reap the benefits without doing anything. But why is Mo Fengming so sure that I'm strong enough to cause trouble for the Long family of the General clan and Chu Chaosheng? Long Yu read a lot of information from Mo Fengming's playful gaze. Although this information was only speculation, it was definitely not far from the truth. As Mo Fengming's figure disappeared from Long Yu's sight, he soon heard the rumbling of thunder in front of him. Bolts of lightning began to flash on the horizon, illuminating the clouds in the distance. That's the sky-howling lightning pool. Long Yu's heart trembled. Just by looking at the lightning in the sky and listening to the rumbling thunder, he could feel the terror of the sky-howling lightning pool. From afar, the power of the heavenly lightning seemed capable of instantly pulverizing Long Yu. But at this moment, Long Yu felt a familiar aura coming from the sky-howling lightning pool. This is the aura of the heavenly steel's power. Long Yu quickly sensed that the lightning and thunder contained an aura similar to the lunar heavenly steel. It must be the unique aura of the heavenly steel. It was an aura of power born from heaven and earth. Long Yu, who had comprehended the lunar heavenly steel, was very familiar with this aura. At the same time, he felt the 9 underworld dragon mark on his chest seemed to be sending him a message to get closer to the sky-howling lightning pool. This made him even more interested in the sky-howling lightning pool. The lunar wings on his back flapped rapidly as he got closer and closer to the sky-howling lightning pool. In front of him, the snowy mountains were tall and covered in white snow. Valleys crisscrossed, making lightning faintly discernible. Long Yu roughly estimated that he was less than 100 miles away from the sky-howling lightning pool. Here, he became even more vigilant. Since the little prince of the ancient Ming kingdom wanted to monopolize the treasure of the sky-howling lightning pool, he would definitely send troops to patrol this mountain range. However, just as he was about to approach silently, a sinister sneer suddenly came from the side. "You really came. I've been waiting for you for a long time." As the cold and gloomy female voice entered Long Yu's ears, a shadow approached Long Yu at an extremely fast speed in the dark of the night, and suddenly launched a sneak attack on him from behind. Yu Qianing. Hearing this, Long Yu's heart skipped a beat. Chapter 141. If he was still at rank 1 of the true spirit realm, Long Yu would have been gravely injured by Yu Qianing's sneak attack. But now, he had stepped into rank 2 of the true spirit realm. Heaven Suppressing Field. Long Yu immediately unleashed his Heaven Suppressing Field. At the same time, the Heaven Suppressing Sun True Spirit appeared behind him, causing the sneak attack to pause for a moment. Following that, Long Yu swept his spear horizontally, and with a nether dragon leap, he leaped 1,000 feet away. Yu Qianing's sneak attack missed, but this was just the beginning. You've stepped into rank 2 of the true spirit realm in such a short time. If I let you go today, I'd be letting a big fish go. Yu Qianing's cold voice came from all directions, making it hard to tell where she was. The shadow formed by cultivating the 1,000 threads shadow manipulation technique instantly disappeared into the snowy ground, disappearing under the moonlight of the snowy peak. In the next moment, Long Yu felt the pressure of an emperor surging towards him. Emperor Domain. Yu Qianing had also comprehended the domain of her mental cultivation technique. The Chu clan's mental cultivation technique was called the Imperial Spring and Autumn Scripture, together with the Long clan and Mo clan's mental cultivation techniques. They were known as the top 3 mental cultivation techniques of the Tang Kingdom. Those who cultivated the imperial spring and autumn scripture would comprehend the law of heaven and earth, the law of emperor, which was even stronger than the law of heaven suppressing. At this moment, Yu Qianning unleashed her sovereign domain and enveloped Long Yu's entire body, rendering him immobile. Yu Qianning's cultivation had reached the 4th level of the true spirit secret realm, and her base strength was 4 times that of Long Yu. Furthermore, her spring and autumn imperial scripture was stronger than the heaven suppressing art, and her emperor domain was stronger than the heaven suppressing domain. In this way, in a head-on confrontation between the two, Long Yu was at an absolute disadvantage. Not good. Long Yu's heart skipped a beat. He knew that if Yu Qianning attacked him now, he would not be able to dodge or block it. 9 Underworld Dragon Seal, activate. Long Yu used his profound energy to activate the Dragon Seal of the 9 Underworlds, and even activated the patterns of the 9 Underworlds on the lunar wings. Immediately, he gained a new understanding of the lunar chi. Ever since he obtained the lunar heavenly steel, Long Yu would comprehend the power of heaven and earth whenever he was free. Now that Yu Qianning was in danger, he finally comprehended a trace of the extreme yin chi. The first realm of his comprehension of the lunar chi is actually a state of mind, the lunar will. When Long Yu sensed the sliver of lunar concept flowing through his body, he could not help but feel moved. The Tai Yin Chi contained in the heaven steel should also be a type of law of the heavens and earth. It was just that it was of a higher level than the heaven suppressing law. Moreover, the laws contained within the divine steel seemed to be even stronger than the emperor laws cultivated from the imperial spring and autumn sutra. When I have time, I must find a chance to understand the difference between cultivation methods and the laws of heaven and earth. As for now, I don't have that much time to think about it. Long Yu's heart tightened, and the lunar will burst out from his body. As he had only just comprehended the concept of the lunar law, it was obvious that he could not go against Yu Qianning's emperor domain. However, when he comprehended the lunar will, the pair of lunar wings on his back finally resonated with him. After being modified by the 9 Underworld Dragon Seal with the lunar chi, the difficulty of the lunar wings, a top-tier spiritual combat weapon, was greatly reduced. Dong! 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 Long Yu could feel that the power within the lunar wings was beating in sync with his heartbeat. Following that, a powerful wave of extreme yin chi burst forth from the extreme yin wings, sweeping away the pressure of the emperor domain enveloping Long Yu's body. Lunar explosion. This power was able to sweep away all the suppression from Long Yu's body, allowing him to regain his freedom. Although it could only last for 1 or 2 breaths, it was enough for Long Yu. Spectre Flash. Long Yu turned into Spectre Chi and disappeared from where he stood. In the next second, he reappeared tens of feet away. Following that, he swung the 9 Underworld Dragon Spear and leaped hundreds of feet away. How is this possible? Yu Qianning, who was wearing a light yellow robe, appeared at the place where she had just suppressed Long Yu. Her eyes were filled with a hint of ruthlessness. It was a law that was even stronger than the Emperor domain, which meant that it could only be the heavenly monument. Yu Qianning had been raised by Chu Chaosheng since she was young, so of course she knew about the existence of the heavenly monument. It's the lunar chi. Looks like this Long Yu has obtained the Ling clan's heavenly monument. Yu Qianning's eyes were filled with greed. My imperial family has known about the existence of the heavenly monument for many years, but we have never been able to get our hands on it. Mo Fengming, on the other hand, has only refined a lunar fragment into a combat weapon, yet he has already become such an expert. If I can snatch the heavenly monument from Long Yu, Yu Qianning could no longer hold back the excitement in her heart. Didn't she come to the heavenly thunderbolt pool to see if there was a chance of obtaining the heavenly monument? Even if it was just a fragment, it would be great. Yet, Long Yu had a ready-made heavenly monument. How could she not be overjoyed? Because of this, Yu Qianning wanted to capture Long Yu even if it meant risking her life. Right now, Long Yu, of course, had no idea that Yu Qianning had already seen through him. All he did was rush towards the heavenly thunderbolt pool. The lunar wings that resonated with him raised his speed to an extremely terrifying level. Within the snowy mountains, he was like a streak of black flowing light flashing as he flashed through. The heavenly thunderbolt pool has been attracting the 9 underworld dragons seal. Long Yu's eyes flashed. Right now, he was being chased by Yu Qianning. It would be extremely difficult for him to escape. The only way was to get close to the Gumeng Kingdom's little prince and create some chaos. Moreover, since there was a high chance that a heavenly monument was also hidden in the heavenly thunderbolt pool, he could not miss it. As he moved forward, he brushed past many patrolling soldiers of the Gumeng Kingdom. Who was it that ran past them? All they saw was a shadow flashing by, and Long Yu was nowhere to be seen. There was no way they could chase after Long Yu. The patrolling soldiers could only take quick measures to inform the Gumeng Kingdom's little prince so that more patrolling soldiers could come and stop him. That night, the heavenly thunderbolt pool rumbled even louder. More and more people came to the heavenly thunderbolt pool to fish in troubled waters. There were more than 10 people that were seen by the patrolling soldiers. All of them were elites with high cultivation realms. For example, Mo Fengming, Yu Qianning, etc. After Long Yu resonated with the lunar wings, his speed was comparable to Mo Fengming's. The patrolling soldiers could not even see him clearly, much less catch him. But as Long Yu moved towards the heavenly thunderbolt pool, he soon realized that the patrolling soldiers were getting more and more concentrated. They were trying to stop him. Yu Qianning is still chasing after me. No matter how many patrolling soldiers there are, I can only charge forward. Long Yu's dantian was beating along with his heart, speeding up the circulation of xianqi in his meridians. It increased the recovery rate of his xianqi so that he would not run out of energy in a short period of time. Yu Qianning could not help but feel shocked as she chased after him. Long Yu's current speed was so fast that even a 4th stage true spirit realm expert like Yu Qianning couldn't catch up to him. After missing an opportunity, it would be difficult for Yu Qianning to attack Long Yu again. Unless there was an expert who could stop Long Yu. Long Yu moved forward at lightning speed. A pair of grayish-black wings behind him turned into a ray of light that streaked across the snowy ground. Just as he was about to charge straight ahead and directly charge into the heavenly thunderbolt pool, a figure covered in flames suddenly blocked Long Yu's path. Someone from the fire depository. Long Yu's heart skipped a beat as he immediately guessed the other party's identity. The expert from the fire depository, Huofu, whom he had killed earlier, was the son of the fire depository's temple master. His cultivation was at the peak of the 2nd stage true spirit realm, and he was ranked 2nd among the core disciples of the fire depository. The person who appeared in front of Long Yu was a red-robed elder with the fire depository's elder badge. His cultivation had reached the 3rd stage of the true spirit realm. The elder looked at Long Yu with a mocking look in his eyes. As long as he killed Long Yu, he would be avenging the young temple master, and the temple master would definitely reward him. The red-robed elder casually stretched out his hand, and a flame burst out from his palm, burning the area in front of Long Yu. Exploding flame earth. Although it was only a lower spiritual level martial skill, it posed a great threat to Long Yu when it was used by an expert at the 3rd stage of the true spirit realm. Yu Qianning is chasing after me. Although the fire depository's elder is also at the 3rd stage of the true spirit realm, he can only choose to face this old man. Long Yu thought to himself as a murderous intent flashed in his eyes. Take this. Long Yu did not stop and continued to move forward on the flames. He bit his finger and sprinkled some blood on the 9 nether dragon spear. He then used the spiritual martial skill, reverse scale touch, to attack with the 9 nether dragon spear. Although the fire depository's elder was 1 realm higher than Long Yu, the power of Long Yu's reverse scale touch caused his expression to change. If he didn't defend himself, this move of the reverse scale tentacle would definitely have killed him. 3 spiritual fire. The fire depository's elder waved his hands, and 3 balls of flames appeared behind him. At the same time, a shadow of a fire true spirit appeared behind him, and a destructive aura filled the area. The snow within a radius of a few hundred feet began to melt under the high temperature. At the same time, it attracted the attention of the ancient Ming Kingdom's patrolling troops. Just as the Fire Depository's elder was about to block Long Yu's attack, Long Yu threw out a punch. 9 Nether Dragon Fist, Reincarnation Awakening. The Reincarnation Fist condensed the power of reincarnation and instantly enveloped the Fire Depository's elder. In a few breaths' time, the Fire Depository's martial Dao realm dropped to the second stage of the true spirit realm. What's going on? The Fire Depository's elder's expression changed. Drunken Yellow Spring, 9 Nether Explosion Kill. Long Yu did not give the Fire Depository's elder a chance to think. As the Fire Depository's elder barely blocked the 9 Nether Dragon Spear, Long Yu punched the ground. A wave of 9 Nether Chi condensed under the Fire Depository's elder's feet and exploded. The 9 Nether Chi entered the Fire Depository's elder's body and instantly killed him. Chapter 142. This red-robed, hidden Fire Palace elder originally wanted to take this opportunity to kill Long Yu and take revenge for the young palace master, Huafu, before returning to the palace master to ask for a reward. However, he did not expect that Long Yu, who was only at level 2 of the true spirit realm, could kill him in an instant. Let's go. Long Yu didn't hesitate at all. He picked up the 9 Nether Dragon Spear and continued to activate the lunar wings, speeding forward. Through this delay, Yu Qianning's figure was even closer to him. However, Long Yu was still outside the range of Yu Qianning's Emperor realm. This brat. Yu Qianning gritted her teeth and a cold look appeared in her eyes. She thought that with the help of the hidden Fire Temple's elder, she would be able to catch up with Long Yu and take away his Lunar Heaven tablet. However, she did not expect that Long Yu would be able to kill the hidden Fire Temple elder, who was at level 3 of the true spirit realm, in an instant. To Yu Qianning, this was like a bolt from the blue. All along, she had always thought that her innate talent was superior to others. But now, when compared to Long Yu, she was immediately overshadowed. Long Yu could kill an opponent who was 1 level higher than him. Yu Qianning had never been able to do that. Kill. Thinking up to this point, Yu Qianning's killing intent intensified. Her yellow robe dashed through the sea of fire and chased after Long Yu. Under the night sky, the two of them were as fast as shooting stars. Along the way, Long Yu avoided countless patrolling soldiers of the ancient Ming Kingdom. Finally, he arrived at the center of the entire snowy mountain. Not far in front of him, there was a large row of tents. The prince of the Gumeng Kingdom led his army here. On the other side of the densely packed tents was the sky-engulfing lightning pool that was bursting with lightning. With Yu Qianning chasing after him, Long Yu did not dare to slow down. To Yu Qianning's disbelief, he charged straight into the tents, causing countless Gumeng soldiers to emerge from their tents. Within a radius of several hundred zhang, the tents of the ancient Ming Kingdom's military were everywhere. When Long Yu rushed towards this place, the alarm horn was immediately blown. Rows of ancient Ming soldiers appeared from the tents and surrounded Long Yu. It was a spectacular scene. The sky-piercing lightning pool. Anyone who enters it will definitely die. However, the dragon seal of the 9 underworlds seems to be urging me to enter it. Since that's the case, I might as well enter the sky-piercing lightning pool and give it a try. Long Yu's eyes flashed with determination. Even if there were thousands of soldiers blocking his way, he would not hesitate. However, even Yu Qianning stopped not too far away from them. If she fell into the encirclement of the ancient Ming Kingdom's army, even she would definitely die. Was Long Yu tired of living? How dare he charge straight into the ancient Ming Kingdom's camp? At first, Yu Qianning thought that Long Yu was colluding with the ancient Ming Kingdom. However, she soon realized that the ancient Ming Kingdom's military was attacking Long Yu mercilessly. Interesting. On a nearby snowy peak, the green-robed Mo Fengming looked down. Even I, Mo Fengming, would not dare to barge into the ancient Ming Kingdom's camp with the sky-piercing lightning pool in front of us. I want to see what you are up to. At this moment, No one, not Mo Fengming, Yu Qianing, or the ancient Ming Kingdom's thousands of soldiers, thought that Long Yu's target was the sky-piercing lightning pool. Charge! Long Yu didn't dare to stop, because if he stopped in the middle of the army, he would definitely be surrounded. No matter how many people he killed, he would eventually be captured due to exhaustion. Furthermore, there was no point in killing more people here. He swung the 9 nether dragon spear in his hand, and a gust of air carried him hundreds of feet into a nearby mountain. It was a lonely, snowy peak. At the end of the peak was a towering cliff. If one jumped down from the cliff, they would be able to step into the sky-piercing lightning pool. Everyone was even more confused when they saw that his target was this snowy peak. Was this guy sick in the head? First, he charged into the ancient Ming Kingdom's camp. Then, he ran to the lonely, snowy peak. At the end of the peak was the sky-piercing lightning pool. This was simply courting death. In the center of the ancient Ming Kingdom's camp, a young man in his 20s stepped out with his head held high. This young man was wearing golden armor and had a strong body. He wore a purple gold crown with 2 pheasant feathers dangling from it. He looked just like Lu Bu from the Three Kingdoms period in Long Yu's memory. Little Prince, how is it? Next to the purple gold-crowned youth, a general with broad arms and a round waist bowed and asked respectfully, "Chase him. Let's see how he runs." The purple gold-crowned youth, who was the little prince of the ancient Ming Kingdom, looked interested. He stood where he was and observed Long Yu's figure from afar. Of course, the little prince of the ancient Ming Kingdom had heard about Long Yu. At this moment, when he saw Long Yu running toward a dead end, he naturally would not lower himself to chase him personally. There was no need for the little prince of the ancient Ming Kingdom to take action against such a lad. As Long Yu ran, he also noticed the little prince of the ancient Ming Kingdom. However, he did not think too much about it. As long as the little prince did not attack him, it would be easy to deal with him. Perhaps in the eyes of the little prince of the ancient Ming Kingdom, the difference between the two of them was too great. Hence, he did not bother to attack Long Yu. Long Yu activated his chi and instantly increased his speed. Even though there were constantly ancient Ming Kingdom generals and military troops surrounding him, they could not stop him. His speed was much faster than the military troops of the ancient Ming Kingdom. However, in the eyes of the others, the direction he was running toward was a dead end. Only Long Yu knew that this was the only way for him to have a chance of survival. With Long Yu's speed, he had already reached the peak of the lonely, snowy peak in half an hour. He was only a few hundred feet away from the cliff that faced the sky-engulfing lightning pool. Behind him, thousands of military troops had already surrounded the entire snowy peak. No matter which direction he went, he could not escape from the encirclement. It was a pity that no one expected that Long Yu had no intention of escaping from the encirclement. "We're here. Go!" Long Yu took a step forward. The lunar wings on his back turned his entire body into a gray flowing light. Under the night sky, he ran straight toward the sky-engulfing lightning pool. Is he crazy? Yu Qianing was instantly shocked when she saw Long Yu's actions. Even if Long Yu died in the sky-engulfing lightning pool, he still did not want the lunar heaven tablet to be obtained by others. This was too sinister. Mo Fengming and the young prince of Gumeng frowned. They could tell that Long Yu had been heading toward the sky-engulfing lightning pool from the beginning. Could it be that Long Yu was after the sky-engulfing lightning pool? However, the lightning in the sky-engulfing lightning pool was extremely destructive. No matter who it was, even if they were an expert who had achieved the unity of true soul realm, there was only death waiting for them. As the expressions of the young prince of Gumeng, Mo Fengming, and the other experts changed, Long Yu had already leaped out of the lonely snowy peak. His body turned into a flowing light as he dived into the sky-engulfing lightning pool. Almost immediately, several bolts of lightning were attracted by Long Yu and struck him furiously. "It's up to you whether I live or die." Long Yu gritted his teeth and did not stop. He activated the dragon seal of the 9 underworlds and covered his entire body with the chi of the 9 underworlds. Rumble. The terrifying, destructive force of the lightning struck Long Yu's head instantly. However, the power of the lightning was absorbed by the dragon seal of the 9 underworlds in an instant. Long Yu was not injured at all. I've made the right bet. Long Yu was delighted as he rushed toward the depths of the sky-engulfing lightning pool at an even faster speed. The entire sky-engulfing lightning pool was dozens of miles wide. He did not want to attract too much attention, so he could only go deeper into the lightning pool. Long Yu, who had resonated with the lunar wings, was like a flowing light. After being struck by several bolts of lightning, he finally disappeared from everyone's sight. The lightning didn't kill him. Outside the sky-engulfing lightning pool, the young prince of Gumeng, Mo Fengming, Yu Qianing, and the other experts hiding nearby were all shocked. However, they shook their heads immediately. There was no doubt that the sky-engulfing lightning pool was powerful. Even an expert at the Unity of True Soul realm would not be able to survive if he stepped into it. Although Long Yu looked fine after being struck by the lightning a few times, he was definitely seriously injured. Only death awaited him if he charged into the sky-engulfing lightning pool like that. What? So he's just a fool. Almost everyone had the same thought in their minds, but they immediately laughed it off. Long Yu had charged into the sky-engulfing lightning pool, just like that. In everyone's eyes, he had been struck to death by the lightning. Mo Fengming, Yu Qianing, and the others who were hiding nearby continued to hide and wait for their opportunity. As for the tens of thousands of generals from the ancient Ming kingdom, they returned to their camps cursing and swearing. Some went back to sleep, while others went to stand guard. Before long, Long Yu, who had charged into the sky-engulfing lightning pool, became the talk of the crowd. Laughing it off, that was all. However, what no one knew was that Long Yu had finally stopped in the middle of the sky-engulfing lightning pool, where the lightning was the most violent. Just now, the dragon seal of the 9 underworlds had sent a message. The sky-engulfing lightning pool was rich in lightning and was suitable for tempering one's body. Tempering one's body with lightning. Long Yu was stunned by the dragon seal of the 9 underworlds. Originally, he was betting that with the dragon seal of the 9 underworlds, he wouldn't die even if he ran into the sky-engulfing lightning pool. At most, he would be able to escape with some injuries. But now, the dragon seal of the 9 underworlds wanted him to use the lightning in the sky-engulfing lightning pool to temper his body. Only by going through the hardships could one rise above others. Not long after Long Yu stepped onto the path of martial arts, he went through a lot of hardships and cultivated the demon conqueror body tempering technique. Using the lightning to temper his body now was probably the same. However, it would definitely be more painful than cultivating the demon conqueror body tempering technique, and the effect would be stronger. Chapter 143. Ever since Long Yu stepped into the true spirit realm, he felt that the connection between him and the 9 underworld dragon seal had become closer. The 9 underworld dragon real spirit in his dantian would sometimes transmit some vague information to him. For example, in the gorging lightning pool, it wanted him to use the power of the lightning to refine his body. At that moment, Long Yu's ears were completely occupied by the roar of the lightning. Apart from the roar of the lightning, he could not hear anything else. Countless lightning bolts lit up the entire night sky. Under the sky, countless lightning bolts interweaved into a net that was attracted by Long Yu, who was standing on the rocky ground and struck down. Although it was a snow-covered land in the north, there was not even a speck of snow in the gorging lightning pool. This was an endless barren land. Under the constant bombardment of heavenly lightning, the rocks on the ground had become extremely hard, and there were even some sparks of electricity. The current me is still unable to withstand the direct bombardment of the lightning bolts. I can only use the 9 underworld dragon seal to absorb the power of the lightning to refine my body. Long Yu thought to himself as he activated the 9 underworld dragon seal, trying to draw out a trace of the absorbed power of the lightning. All the lightning that struck Long Yu's head would be absorbed by the 9 underworld dragon seal. Now, the power of the lightning stored in the 9 underworld dragon seal was almost inexhaustible. When Long Yu drew out a trace of the lightning, his entire body was instantly paralyzed. With his current cultivation, just being electrocuted once was enough to make his entire body weak. With just the body that had been tempered by the demon-vanquishing body, he could not defend against the destructive lightning at all. However, Long Yu clenched his teeth and used all his strength to send that trace of the lightning power through his meridians, integrating it into the profound chi in his meridians. As he assimilated the power of the heavenly thunder into his profound energy, his entire body suddenly became exhausted. He didn't have the slightest bit of strength left, and he immediately went limp on the hard, rocky ground. The 9 Underworld Dragon Seal used the power inherited from the Supreme Ancient Era to protect Long Yu from the lightning outside. However, Long Yu had only absorbed a trace of heavenly lightning before he collapsed to the ground. It wasn't that his willpower wasn't strong enough, but that his physical body really couldn't withstand the destructive power of the lightning. Even if it was just a trace, it was enough to make him lose all his battle strength. However, he didn't stop just like that. Long Yu activated the 9 Underworld's Dragon Seal and continued to draw out another strand of heavenly lightning. This strand was thicker than the first strand, and its power was also stronger. One could imagine how much damage it would cause to his body. However, in order to successfully refine one's body with the heavenly lightning, one had to endure the damage of the heavenly lightning. In order to become stronger, Long Yu was willing to endure any pain. Strand after strand of heavenly lightning was absorbed by Long Yu. First, he used it to temper his meridians. All of this was supported by his powerful will. If it had been someone else, they would have been in so much pain that they didn't want to continue when the first bolt of heavenly lightning entered their body. However, Long Yu did not stop drawing the heavenly lightning into his body at all. He stretched out his limbs just like that, lying flat in the center of the heavenly lightning pool. Countless bolts of heavenly lightning struck his body and were then absorbed by the 9 Underworld's Dragon Seal. Following that, he drew out traces of heavenly lightning from the 9 Underworld's Dragon Seal again, and used it to temper his meridians. Like this, a day and a night passed. He could finally withstand the bombardment of heavenly lightning that was as thick as a pinky finger, and his meridians were at least 10 times stronger than before. But at this very moment, his physical body had already reached the limit. Just as he wanted to go a step further and start to use the heavenly lightning to temper his skin and flesh, his vision suddenly went black and his entire person fainted. This was the 9 Underworld's Dragon Seal, forcing him to rest. Most likely, the 9 Underworld Dragon Seal also didn't expect that when Long Yu refined his body with heavenly lightning, he would actually be so desperate. In order to prevent him from being unable to withstand the power of the heavenly lightning and causing his physical body to completely collapse, the 9 Underworld's Dragon Seal could only force Long Yu to lose consciousness. And the unconscious Long Yu felt as if he had come to another place. Dream. This is the dream from the memory that followed before. Long Yu's heart suddenly skipped a beat. He opened his eyes and looked around him. He realized that he was floating in midair, looking down at a vast and boundless world. In front of him was the descendant of the dragon tribe that he had seen before. He looked around and saw that in this descendant of the dragon tribe, powerful body-tempering martial cultivators were constantly entering and exiting the tribe. There were even many top powerhouses who could actually step on the void and walk with the wind, as if they were immortals. Originally, when I saw this tribe in my memory, I observed it from the ground and didn't see the sky. I really didn't expect that there would be so many terrifying powerhouses in the sky, and all of them could walk on the void. Are these the legendary powerhouses who have reached the oneness of heaven and human realm? Long Yu's heart was filled with awe. Even in the entire Tang Empire, the number of powerhouses who had reached the oneness of heaven and human realm was definitely less than 5, and they rarely appeared in front of others. But now, in front of him, there were countless powerhouses who had reached the oneness of heaven and human realm. The scene in front of him changed. He saw that in the tribe's martial arts field, Many 15 or 16-year-old youths had released their true spirits and were sparring with each other to familiarize themselves with the use of various martial skills. Any one of these youths' talent would be at the top level in the Tang Empire. Among them, there was even a 15-year-old youth who had reached the oneness of heaven and human realm and was about to step into the legendary oneness of heaven and human realm. No, in this tribe, the oneness of heaven and human realm was probably just a very ordinary level. And the true spirits released by these youths were all the true spirits of the Dragon of 9 Underworlds, and the martial skills they used were also the Dragon Fist of 9 Underworlds, and some are even more powerful than the Dragon Fist of 9 Underworlds. Long Yu memorized these scenes one by one. He could roughly guess that these dreams in his memory were guiding him on how to use the Dragon Seal of the 9 Underworlds. In fact, watching these youths sparring the martial arts field was indeed a great help to Long Yu. The scene changed again. In a thatched hut in the tribe, there was a kind old man teaching a group of 5 or 6-year-old children the basics of martial arts. This world, Shun Wu World, contains 9,000 laws. Martial cultivators use the laws to control the power of heaven and earth, thus achieving supreme martial arts. These laws are split into 4 ranks: Yellowstone, Mysterious Jade, Earth Seal, and Heaven Crystal. Yellowstone laws are the weakest, while Heaven Crystal laws are the most powerful and terrifying. Martial cultivators start from the realm of concepts, then slowly comprehend the essence, force, domain, and finally grasp the laws. To grasp the laws, the prerequisite is to reach the Heaven realm. Otherwise, you can only comprehend domain at most. The Heaven Monument is extremely important to martial cultivators, as it contains Earth Seal laws. Those of the Heaven realm can absorb the Heaven Monument's spirit energy and quickly comprehend Earth Seal laws, thus unleashing a powerful force. Aside from that, the martial cultivators can infuse specific laws of heaven and earth into their cultivation sutras. As long as they practice the sutras, they can more easily comprehend the laws. Long Yu flew to the side. Hearing the old man's words, he suddenly understood. So, the laws of heaven and earth are common in this world, and there are as many as 9,000 types. Yellowstone, Mystic Jade, Earth Seal, Heaven Crystal. The 4 ranks of the laws of heaven and earth have completely different levels of power. The laws contained within the Heaven Monument are Earth Seal laws. That means heaven-suppressing laws, broken blade laws, etc. are the weakest Yellowstone laws. While the Great Tang's 3 Great Clans Cultivation Sutras are infused with Mysterious Jade laws, it's because of this that the 3 Great Clans are able to survive for generations. But the Lunar Heaven Monument I obtained contains Earth Seal laws. It's indeed stronger than the Spring and Autumn Imperial Scripture and Blood Dragon Secret Art. Long Yu felt a little excited in his heart. Unfortunately, without reaching the Heaven realm, he can't comprehend the laws. At most, he can comprehend domain. The Heaven realm should be the realm of one with the heavens. Even so, as long as Long Yu can comprehend the law of moon to the level of domain, he will be an invincible existence in the Great Tang Empire. Of course, Martial Dao realm is the prerequisite. A first-stage Martial Dao cultivator, even if he has grasped the lunar domain, would not be a match for any Martial Dao cultivator in the true spirit realm. Then, the scene in front of Long Yu changed, but the old man said one last sentence. The warriors of our 9 Nether tribe are all descendants of the dragon. As long as our talent is not too bad, we will be able to grasp the laws of 9 Nether. The laws of 9 Nether are above the 9,000 types of laws and are the strongest law in this world. The scene changed, but the old man's words echoed in Long Yu's mind. The laws of 9 Nether, the strongest law in this world. It is above the 9,000 types of laws, and the laws of 9 Nether originated from the 9 Nether Dragon Seal. These words did not make Long Yu happy. Instead, it made his heart feel heavier. How could such a powerful force that surpassed the level of this world be obtained so easily? Long Yu never believed in reaping without sowing. Even if the Great Tang Imperial Chu clan and the Long clan were so strong, they had ancestors that fused the dark Jade Grade laws into their cultivation techniques. allowing their descendants to benefit from it. However, the nine nether tribe of the dragon's descendants didn't seem to have any peerless experts. Long Yu only knew that a nine nether dragon had fallen in the valley the tribe was located in during the primeval times. Could it be that the strength of the nine nether dragon was really able to be passed down for so long? All of this was secondary to Long Yu. The key was that the woman he saw in his memories, Consort Yu, wore a white veil and seemed noble yet faintly discernible. Who exactly was she? Why would she inscribe the nine nether dragon seal on Long Yu's chest? Now, where is the descendant of the dragon in this nine nether tribe? He still had no answers to these questions. Suddenly, Long Yu's consciousness returned, and the ceaseless rumbling of heavenly thunder resounded once more. Chapter 144. Now is not the time to think so much. As long as my power continues to increase, I will be able to solve all the mysteries one day. For Long Yu, the most important thing now was to refine his body with the heavenly thunder and increase his power. As he regained consciousness, he continued to draw out bolts of heavenly thunder from the dragon seal of the nine underworlds to refine his muscles and tendons. When he had cultivated the demon conqueror body, he had started by refining his meridians, then his tendons and tendons, then his flesh and dantian, and his organs. If he refined his bloodline, he could elevate his demon conqueror body to the transcendent realm. It was a pity that Long Yu had never had the time to cultivate the demon conqueror body to the transcendent realm. At this moment, he could not miss this opportunity to refine his body with the heavenly thunder. He spent about a day and a night refining his meridians with the heavenly thunder. Then he spent 3 days and 3 nights refining his tendons and tendons before he finally integrated a trace of heavenly thunder into his tendons and tendons. The dragon seal of the nine underworlds vaguely told him that this heavenly thunder was called the Thunderbolt Law. The Thunderbolt Law was also a law contained in the heavenly steel and was of the earthly seal grade. The heavenly steel was a treasure formed naturally by the laws of heaven and earth. To anyone, it was an extremely rare treasure. However, all the heavenly steels were located in extremely hidden locations. Although the power of the laws contained in them could produce various weather phenomena, such as the lunar mineral veins and the heavenly thunder pool, it was extremely difficult to obtain the heavenly steel. For the martial cultivators of the Tang Kingdom's level, even obtaining the fragments of the heavenly steel that appeared every once in a while was an extremely fortunate thing. But now, Long Yu possessed the power of 2 heavenly steels alone. Half of the lunar steel allowed him to begin to comprehend the law of the moon. At this moment, he was refining his body with the heavenly thunder and absorbing the power of the Thunderbolt heavenly steel. Perhaps, when Long Yu finished refining his body, the Thunderbolt heavenly steel would not have much power left. It took 7 days to refine his body. Following Long Yu's gradual tempering of his fleshly body, the amount of time he needed to temper his fleshly body became longer and longer. A full 2 months later, the little prince of the ancient Ming Kingdom had sent many of the ancient Ming Kingdom's military troops to patrol the sky-piercing lightning pool. However, they did not see Long Yu emerge from the sky-piercing lightning pool. This allowed him to heave a sigh of relief, because he was sure that Long Yu had perished in the pool. However, the nightmare thunder fragment that he was looking forward to should have appeared 2 months ago. Now that 2 months had passed, he still hadn't seen any trace of the nightmare thunder fragment. Could it be that something has happened? The little prince of the Gumeng Kingdom thought to himself. Seeing that the rumbling thunder in the Wraith Thunder Pool was getting weaker, he knew that there was no hope. When the nightmare thunder fragments appeared, the heavenly thunder would definitely be strong. But now, the heavenly thunder was declining. Mo Fengming, Yu Qianing, and many other experts who were hiding near the sky-engulfing lightning pool also dispersed. Since there was no hope, there was no point in waiting. It was better to save time and go back to cultivate. The little prince of the Gumeng Kingdom had no choice but to retreat after leading his army for 2 months. However, before he left, he left behind 10,000 military troops to patrol the sky-piercing lightning pool. He still felt that there was something wrong with Long Yu, who had entered the sky-piercing lightning pool. It was better to keep an eye on him. As the little prince of the Gumeng kingdom left with more than 100,000 troops, the area around the sky-piercing lightning pool became empty. In 2 months, the rumbling thunder in the sky-piercing lightning pool was many times weaker than it was 2 months ago. At this moment, even if one waited for 2 hours, they would only see a few flashes of lightning. It was the same as usual in the sky-piercing lightning pool. However, no one noticed that the frequency of the rumbling thunder was still decreasing. After another month, there was almost no more rumbling thunder in the sky-piercing lightning pool. This surprised the patrolling military troops. They sent people to report this news to the little prince of the Gumeng kingdom. At this moment, a man wearing the ancient Meng kingdom's bronze warrior armor walked out of the sky-piercing lightning pool. This man was Long Yu. In the past 3 months, he had used the lightning to refine his body and form the sky-piercing lightning body. At this moment, he could use his body to withstand the full attack of a first-level True Spirit Realm expert. Even an expert in the second-level True Spirit Realm, like him, would not be able to do much damage to him. Not only that, he had been feeding on the lightning and using the power of the sky-piercing lightning law to replenish his body. He had long understood the concept of the sky-piercing lightning law. At this moment, he could even control the charm of the sky-piercing lightning law and attach it to his body. This allowed him to reflect the enemy's attack. He had yet to truly fight against an expert in the 4th-level True Spirit Realm who had condensed their true spirits into a physical body. However, he could feel that even if he were to face Yu Qianning again, he would not be as pathetic as before. As long as his martial Dao realm improved, he would be able to suppress Yu Qianning. Even if Yu Qianning condensed her true spirit into a physical body, she would not be a match for Long Yu. Because of this, Long Yu was not heading towards the Great Tang Kingdom, but the Sky Soul Ghost Valley at the border of the 3 kingdoms. He was heading to the Sky Soul Ghost Valley to hunt demonic beasts and obtain their inner cores to increase his martial Dao realm. There was only a month left until the 7-clan competition. During this time, he had to strive to enter the 3rd-level True Spirit Realm. He exited the sky-piercing lightning pool and stepped into the snowy mountains, heading towards the Sky Soul Ghost Valley. Finally, he turned back to look at the sky-piercing lightning pool. There was no more lightning because he knew that the power of the sky-piercing lightning heavenly tablet had been used to refine his body. From now on, the sky-piercing lightning pool would disappear just like the lunar mineral vein. Although Long Yu did not obtain the sky-piercing lightning heavenly tablet, the power of the sky-piercing lightning heavenly tablet had formed his sky-piercing lightning body. He easily bypassed the ancient Ming kingdom's patrolling troops and disappeared into the snowy mountains. The next morning, Long Yu had already left the range of the snowy mountains and was running on a grassland that stretched as far as the eyes could see. He was in the ancient Ming kingdom. 1,000 miles ahead was the Sky Soul Ghost Valley. Along the way, he saw many villages where the people of the ancient Ming kingdom lived. Smoke was rising from the chimneys, and it was a peaceful scene. However, Long Yu knew that even in such a small village, martial arts were still respected. Everyone on the Heavenly Mandate continent, regardless of gender, worshipped martial arts. He wondered if the Shinwu world where the Jiuyo tribe was located was the same place as the Heavenly Mandate continent. Long Yu shook his head. He would have to at least enter the Heavenly Human Secret Realm to find out the answer to this question. He carefully calculated the strength he had now. Currently, he was at the 2nd level of the True Spirit Realm. His basic strength was June 20th. With the additional June 1st from activating the Dragon Seal of the 9 Underworlds, he had the strength of 3 June, which was equivalent to the strength of 3,000 horses. His main weapons were the 9 Underworlds Dragon Spear, the Lunar Wings, and the Blizzard Boots, the Wandering Soul Glove, and the Flame Explosion Jade Talisman. The latter 3 were of no use to him. However, The Flame Explosion Jade Talisman was an upper spiritual level weapon, and the Blizzard Boots was a speed-type weapon, which was very valuable. He might be able to exchange them for some elixirs of equal value. Among the martial arts techniques he cultivated, the strongest was the 9 Underworlds Dragon Fist. He usually used the 10,000 kill, the heaven-suppressing spear formula, and the martial arts techniques that came with the 9 Underworlds Dragon Spear, such as the Leaping Dragon of the 9 Underworlds and the Reverse Scale Touch. Among the martial arts techniques he cultivated, the Ghost Flash was quite useful for evading the enemy's attack. The Demon Conqueror Mighty Body had transformed into the Thunderbolt Mighty Body, which was equivalent to a spiritual level top-grade body-refining martial art technique, or even better. The first martial art technique he cultivated was the Wind Step, but he didn't use it much now. After all, with the help of the Lunar Wings, his speed had already surpassed the speed of the Wind Step, which could only cover 30 zhong in an instant. Other than martial arts and combat weapons, there were also true spirits and laws. He had comprehended the Yellowstone level heaven suppressing domain, the Earthseal level lunar concept and Thunderbolt profundity, and the Dark Jade level withering swamp concept, which came from a mutated Ouroboros in the soaring serpent abyss. Now, Long Yu knew that true spirits were only the physical manifestations of laws. For example, his heaven-suppressing sun true spirit was the condensation of the heaven-suppressing law. If he released it, it would make his heaven-suppressing pressure even stronger to the point where it would be twice as strong as when he released the heaven-suppressing domain. For the same reason, the laws of extreme Yin and the laws of nightmare lightning could also form true spirits to increase their power. However, once a second, third, or even more true spirits were condensed, the difficulty of a martial cultivator's cultivation would increase greatly. The amount of spiritual qi they would need to absorb would be much more than ordinary people. Furthermore, condensing the true spirit into a physical form and becoming one with it was a huge bottleneck. The more true spirits there were, the harder it would be to break through this bottleneck. Among the laws that Long Yu had comprehended, the heaven-suppressing law had the power of suppression, the withering swamp law had the power of entanglement, the lunar law had the power of endless frost, and the thunderbolt law had the power of endless destruction. Although the thunderbolt law had only comprehended the profundity, if Long Yu were to use it, it would definitely be stronger than the heaven-suppressing domain. If I could cultivate a martial skill that could control lightning, I would be able to unleash the power of the thunderbolt law. It's a pity that such a martial skill is not easy to find, Long Yu thought to himself. In summary, the current Long Yu was much stronger than other martial cultivators at the same cultivation realm. Ordinary martial cultivators at the second layer of the true spirit secret realm, even if they comprehended the Yellowstone law, would not be able to condense it into a domain. He turned into a gray ray of light and sprinted towards the ghost valley of Sky Soul on the boundless grassland. Suddenly, from the corner of his eyes, he saw 2 martial cultivators in front of him, also heading towards the ghost valley of Sky Soul. One of them was wearing a brown fur coat. It was Qi Xiaoxue, who had stepped into the third layer of the true spirit secret realm. Qi Xiaoxue, why is he here? Long Yu frowned slightly. At the end of the day, he and Qi Xiaoxue did not have a close relationship, but Qi Xiaoxue had been given the Ling family manor. Long Yu pondered for a moment, but still went forward. Chapter 145. When Long Yu ran towards Qi Xiaoxue, the other party had already noticed him. It's Long Yu. Qi Xiaoxue turned around and was stunned when she saw Long Yu's figure. When the person with her saw Long Yu's attire, a murderous glint flashed in his eyes. Is it the ancient Meng Wu army? The person asked fiercely. No. Qi Xiaoxue shook her head, and the person next to her calmed down. At this moment, Long Yu felt a murderous intent from the person next to Qi Xiaoxue, and he couldn't help but size him up. It was a tough man with a bare chest, revealing his thick chest hair. His muscles were bulging, and his ruthless face carried a cold expression. Even though his killing intent had dissipated, one could still feel that this person's hands were very ruthless. True Spirit's Secret Realm, Level 3. Long Yu was able to see through the cultivation of that tough guy with a single glance, and his heart relaxed. Even if an opponent of this level wanted to attack him, he could still deal with it easily. "Ha, little brother Long, I didn't expect to see you here." Qi Xiaoxue stopped in her tracks. With a friendly smile on her face, she turned around and said to Long Yu, "I heard that you entered the gobbling lightning pool alone and lost your life. Now it seems that the rumors may not be true." "Brother Qi," Long Yu also greeted with a smile. "Where are you going? Who is this brother?" As he spoke, he looked at the man with chest hair. "This is Deng Shun, my friend." Qi Xiaoxue smiled brightly and introduced. "You're Long Yu." Deng Shun looked at Long Yu and sneered. "I heard my boss mention you. You're from the Tang Empire, so why are you wearing the ancient Meng Wu army's combat armor?" "Your boss." Long Yu frowned slightly when he sensed Deng Shun's hostility. Little brother Long wore this combat armor and sneaked into the enemy's camp and beheaded old General Man Yi. Qi Xiaoxue explained with a smile. She then looked at Long Yu and said, "Brother Deng has some enmity with the Wu army of Gumeng. And Brother Deng's big brother is one of the 7 disaster stars of the heavenly mandate continent. Galaxy Yiluan. Stars of 7 calamities, Star C Leaf Wheel." These 2 words were incomparably unfamiliar to Long Yu. This was the world of Jianghu martial cultivation. It was very far away from the environment that Long Yu had originally lived and cultivated in. However, even though Long Yu had never heard of the Star of 7 Calamities, Starry Ocean Leaf, he could sense how terrifying this person was. The 7 stars of disaster were the strongest in the entire heavenly mandate continent. Long Yu thought that even if this Star Sea Leaf Wheel was not an expert of the heavenly being realm, he was definitely not far from it. However, he couldn't understand why the Star Sea Wheel, one of the 7 calamities, would mention him to Deng Shun. Logically speaking, it was impossible for the 2 of them to have any interaction. "Brother Qi, how is the Ling family's villa now?" Since Deng Shun was hostile, Long Yu didn't bother to pay attention to him and directly asked Qi Xiaoxue, "Leave it to my friends. I have ordered them not to make things difficult for the people of the Ling family's villa." Qi Xiaoxue said with a smile, "Thank you, Brother Qi. In that case, I will take my leave." Long Yu nodded and was about to leave. "Brother Long, don't be in such a hurry." Qi Xiaoxue stopped him. Her eyes flashed with some expectation. "Are you going to the Ghost Valley of Tianhun?" "Oh," Long Yu asked, "are you going to the Ghost Valley of Tianhun too?" "Yes." Qi Xiaoxue laughed and said, "Not long ago, I found a nest of long barbaric demonic beasts on the outskirts of the Ghost Valley. There was a leader of long barbaric demonic beasts in the 4th tier of the True Spirit Secret Realm. Therefore, I asked Brother Deng to gather some people to encircle it. If we succeed, we will at least get 20 inner elixirs of lower spiritual level or even middle spiritual level. A nest of long barbaric demonic beasts." Long Yu asked, "With so many inner elixirs, how do you plan to deal with them?" "Everyone who takes part in the encirclement will share them equally. It's up to you whether you want to absorb them or exchange them. There are 7 people in total. Brother Long, do you want to join us?" Qi Xiaoxue's eyes flickered with anticipation. He had always wanted to witness Long Yu's strength. "I'm sorry, Brother Qi, I have other matters to attend to, so I won't be able to join you." Long Yu shook his head and rejected. He then asked, "Brother Qi, do you know any big trading cities nearby? I would like to take a look." Qi Xiaoxue was a little disappointed with Long Yu's rejection, but he did not mind it too much. Hearing Long Yu's question, he answered casually, "There's a city called Mixed Sound City at the edge of the Ghost Valley of Tianhun, 800 li away. It's a gathering place for the martial cultivators from the 3 nearby countries to hunt for demonic beasts. The trading market there is very prosperous." Mixed Sound City. "Thank you, Brother Qi." Long Yu engraved Qi Xiaoxue's words in his heart. Then, he bid farewell to Qi Xiaoxue and activated the lunar wings. His entire body transformed into a streak of grayish black light as he flew forward. Soon, Long Yu disappeared from Qi Xiaoxue and Deng Shun's sight. Qi Xiaoxue, you invited a lad at the second layer true spirit realm and even wanted to share the loot with him. Aren't you letting your brothers down? Deng Shun said coldly as he watched Long Yu leave. I can guarantee that this Long Yu's strength is definitely not only at the second layer true spirit realm. Qi Xiaoxue squinted her eyes and said, so what? He's already a thorn in our boss's side and must be killed. It's better if you don't get involved with him. Deng Shun harumphed coldly. Let's go. The people our boss sent are already waiting for us at Mixsound City. Let's meet up with them and proceed to the encirclement of the demonic beasts. Qi Xiaoxue nodded, and the two of them ran towards the direction of Mixsound City. However, Qi Xiaoxue was even more interested in Long Yu now. Qi Xiaoxue was very clear that there must be something wrong with the Dragon Leap Golden Pill that Chu Chaosheng had given to Long Yu. Initially, he thought that Long Yu had failed to escape from Chu Chaosheng's trap and died in the thunderous pool. Now, it seemed that not only was Long Yu alive and well, but he had also improved his cultivation to the second layer true spirit realm. Qi Xiaoxue certainly knew why Long Yu was on Xinghai Yiluan's must-kill list. However, she had a feeling that Long Yu would not die so easily. Long Yu sped along the way, and soon he could see the outline of a large city in front of the vast grassland. Mixsound City was located at the edge of the Sky Soul Valley. The martial cultivators of the Tang Kingdom, Ancient Ming Kingdom, and East Sun Kingdom were gathered there. Most of the martial cultivators who came to Mixsound City were experts of the true spirit realm. This was because most of the demonic beasts in the Sky Soul Valley were powerful existences that had condensed their true spirits. If one wanted to enter and hunt the demonic beasts, he would not be able to come out alive if he was not strong enough. This was a city that was not governed by any of the three powers, be it the Tang Kingdom, Ancient Ming Kingdom, or East Sun Kingdom. No one wanted to control the city. This was because the martial cultivators in this city had formed an extremely powerful force. With the power of a single country, even if they wanted to control Mixsound City, they would have to pay a huge price. Moreover, the other two countries would not just stand by and watch. As a result, the entire Mixsound City was not governed by any of the three powers. It was a good place for martial cultivators of the true spirit realm to improve their strength. They would not be bullied and had a lot of freedom. Because of this, even though Long Yu could only see the outline of Mixsound City from afar, he could see many martial cultivators who had condensed their true spirits coming in and out of the city. This Mixsound City was more than 10 times more prosperous than the Jade Gate City of the Tang Kingdom. Long Yu sighed inwardly. If the 7 major sects of the Tang Kingdom came to Mixsound City, they would be nothing. Even the sect master, Bai Yunzong, would not be able to call himself a king in this place. Although Mixsound City was not governed by any of the three powers, there was still order. The entire Mixsound City was governed by the largest gang, which collected transaction taxes and tolls from martial cultivators. If you wanted to enter the city, you had to pay. If you wanted to trade in the city, you had to pay. The currency of the Heavenly Mandate continent was mainly divided into 2 types. The first type was minted by each country. It was made of gold and silver and was mainly used by martial cultivators who had not condensed their true spirits. This type of currency was only used for survival. It was extremely cheap and was not worth much to martial cultivators of the true spirit secret realm. For example, Feng Chang'e had bought a spirit jade elixir of the mortal level lower grade for Long Yu. It had cost the Feng family a lot of money. This money was used for survival and had very low purchasing power. As for the other, it was known as cultivation currency. Cultivation currency was used throughout the Heavenly Mandate continent. It was made of various minerals with different attributes. For example, the moon mine in the Ling family villa could be forged into cultivation currency by digging out the moon mine. This kind of cultivation currency usually contained a trace of the law of the divine tablet. If one accumulated enough, they could even comprehend some earthly seal level law power from it. It was not only useful for martial cultivators of the true spirit secret realm, but also for martial cultivators who had stepped into the celestial realm. The forging of cultivation currency was extremely difficult. Take the moon mine as an example. An ore as big as a person could probably only be forged into a moon crystal coin, which contained an extremely weak power of the law of the moon. The materials used to forge the cultivation currency were basically all produced under the influence of the divine steel. The heavenly lightning within the heavenly lightning pool had been completely absorbed by Long Yu. The remaining rocks, which had been bombarded by heavenly lightning over the years, could be used to forge cultivation coins. They could be called heavenly lightning crystal coins. In this world, there were as many as 9,000 kinds of laws of heaven and earth. Naturally, there were many kinds of cultivation currencies. However, no matter what kind of cultivation currency they were, they could all be called crystal coins. Like mortal level lower grade elixirs, spirit jade elixirs, or mortal level middle grade elixirs, jade elixirs, they could be bought with one crystal coin. They were not worth much at all. This was because the medicinal power contained in mortal level elixirs was negligible to martial cultivators of the true spirit secret realm. No matter how much they absorbed, they would not be able to advance. Only spiritual level elixirs and combat weapons were qualified to circulate in Mixed Sound City. A spiritual level lower grade elixir or combat weapon was worth about 10 crystal coins. If one wanted to enter Mixed Sound City, one had to pay a crystal coin fee. This crystal coin was not a small amount to any martial cultivator in the Jianghu. Chapter 146. One crystal coin was the necessary entry pass to enter the Mixed Sound City. Long Yu thought for a while and realized that he could only exchange the extra combat weapons he had with him for crystal coins. The Wandering Soul gloves were only common low-grade combat weapons, so they were definitely not worth much. As for the Blizzard combat boots, although they resonated with Long Yu, they were still the lowest grade combat weapons to other martial cultivators. The Blizzard combat boots were slightly more valuable than the Wandering Soul gloves, but they were still not worth much. The two of them combined could not even be exchanged for one crystal coin. Looks like I can only exchange the Flame Explosion Jade Talisman. The high-grade combat weapon obtained from a young master of the Hidden Fire Palace, Huofu, was of an extremely high grade. Even in the Mixed Sound City, there were not many of them. The only pity was that the Flame Explosion Jade Talisman had a limited function. Ordinary martial cultivators would not be able to use it. Therefore, the price would definitely be greatly reduced. You kid, are you a young general from the ancient Ming Kingdom? Two martial cultivators of the first rank of the true spirit realm who were guarding the city gate saw Long Yu pacing back and forth at the city gate. One of them walked towards him with a look of disdain. If you want to enter the Mixed Sound City, you'll have to pay one crystal coin. Otherwise, you'll not be allowed to enter. The guard was wearing a spirit-grade combat weapon armor. He said arrogantly, "If you can't pay, then get lost. Don't stand here and be an eyesore." Long Yu looked at him. Although the guard's tone was unfriendly, he did follow the rules. The other party must be from the biggest gang in Mixed Sound City. Arrogant scabbard tent? Lead? The crevice of dawn was hazy. Slanting sign? Frame, I don't have any crystal coins on me, but I do have a high-grade combat weapon. I will exchange it for some crystal coins before entering the city. Long Yu said calmly, "Hey kid, you have a high-grade combat weapon?" The guard's words carried a hint of surprise. Then a hint of greed appeared in his eyes. "Hand over the combat weapon. I will buy it for 100 crystal coins." If I'm not mistaken, a high-rank spiritual combat weapon is worth at least 100 times more than a low-rank spiritual combat weapon. A cold light flashed in Long Yu's eyes. A low-rank spirit-level combat weapon can be exchanged for 10 crystal coins. This is a high-ranked spirit-ranked combat weapon, and you're only giving me 100 crystal coins? Isn't that too little? Shut up. Giving you 100 crystal coins is your honor. Hurry up and hand over the battle weapon, or else I'll break your dog legs. The gatekeeper had a vicious look on his face as he threatened. Long Yu sized up the other party, and a look of surprise appeared on his face. The gatekeeper was only at the first level of the true spirit secret realm. How dare he say such words to him, a martial cultivator at the second level of the true spirit secret realm? From this, it could be seen how powerful the power of the gang that controlled Mixsound City was. Even if it was just a first-layer true spirit secret realm guard. Galloping aluminum? Moo? Turmeric, even if they couldn't win, there was nothing for them to be afraid of. All they had to do was call out, and reinforcements would immediately come from the city. Not to mention a martial cultivator at the second level of the true spirit secret realm like Long Yu. Even a general from the ancient Ming kingdom wouldn't be a threat to them. Of course, an expert at the fourth level of the true spirit secret realm could enter Mixsound City for free according to the rules. That's all. Changing a stable ridge, even though almost everyone in Mixsound City was a true spirit secret realm expert. There were only a few who could condense their true spirit into a physical body and step into the fourth level of the true spirit secret realm. Most of the martial cultivators were stuck at the bottleneck of the third level of the true spirit secret realm, unable to break through in their lifetime. What are you looking at? The gatekeeper had a fierce look on his face. If you don't hand over the battle weapon, I'll call for help. The other party's overbearing manner caused Long Yu's heart to burn with anger. This gatekeeper was so arrogant. It wasn't his style to continue tolerating him. Now that he had offended Chu Chaosheng, why would he be afraid of a mere gang in Mixsound City? A gang in a city, no matter how powerful it was, could not be compared to the left prince of country. Seeing the conflict, the martial cultivators who were entering and exiting Mixsound City stopped to watch and point at the scene. However, when Long Yu was about to make his move, a noble figure in a long black dress floated over and stood between Long Yu and the gatekeeper. Here's a crystal coin. Take it. A calm female voice came from the black-dressed woman's mouth. Then, she threw a lunar crystal coin into the gatekeeper's hand. Long Yu was stunned. He took a closer look and realized that the black-dressed woman was the elder of the Jintian clan, Yin Huanma. He had met Yin Huanma once when he was cultivating in the forbidden bamboo forest behind the Jintian clan. Unfortunately, her duel with another elder, Yu Shengshi, had ended. Long Yu did not expect to see an elder of the Jintian clan outside the Great Tang Kingdom. Yin Huanma's cultivation was in the fourth layer true spirit secret realm. When she threw a lunar crystal coin into the air, the gatekeeper's eyes flickered with a hint of pity. A high-rank spirit rank combat weapon was gone, just like that. Go in. Even though the gatekeeper was only in the first layer true spirit secret realm, he was not afraid of Yin Huanma, but his eyes were filled with a hint of fear. The fourth layer and third layer true spirit secret realm were two completely different things. Let's go. Yin Huanma didn't even look back. She lifted her feet and walked toward the Mixsound City with her elegant figure under her black dress. Long Yu immediately followed her and said, "Thank you, Elder Yin. Why are you here?" Yin Huanma asked calmly without turning her head around. Just like the others, she thought that Long Yu had died after entering the heavenly lightning pool. This news had already spread to the heaven-suppressing sect, and many people were unwilling to believe it. However, 3 months had passed, and there was still no news about Long Yu. The Jintian clan had no choice but to accept the fact. Long Yu pondered for a moment, then chose some of the things he could tell him about his previous experiences. As the two of them entered Mixsound City one after the other, the martial cultivators of the pugilistic world who had gathered at the city gate to watch the show were instantly disappointed. They had thought that there would be a good show to watch. They didn't expect that a noble beauty would appear out of nowhere and settle the matter. Not long after, Yin Huanma brought Long Yu into the Mixsound City. They picked a restaurant and sat down on the second floor. From their position, they could see the most prosperous street in the Mixsound City. According to the decorations, a meal in this restaurant would cost at least a few crystal coins. It was true that Long Yu had not eaten for a long time. If it were someone else, they would have been dead by now. Luckily, he could rely on the dragon seal of the 9 underworlds to replenish his energy with the thunderous pool. It was obvious that Yin Huanma had come to the Mixsound City for some business, but she did not seem to be in a hurry. "It's good that you are alive. Yin Huanma sat by the window and smiled. There are some things that you have to grasp on yourself. Even I can't give you any advice. Judging from the speed at which you are improving, I'm afraid you will surpass me soon. Elder Yin, you must be joking. LV4 of the True Spirit Secret Realm is a bottleneck for any martial cultivator. Long Yu shook his head. It might be for others, but I believe it won't be a problem for you. Yin Huanma smiled faintly. There was an awkward silence between the two of them. They did not know what to say. Long Yu was cautious about having a meal with Yin Huanma. After all, Yin Huanma was an elder of the Jintian clan. Most importantly, he did not know much about Yin Huanma. Yin Huanma's hair was tied up in a bun, and she looked like a black rose under her black dress, attracting the attention of all the martial cultivators on the second floor of the restaurant. However, no one dared to strike up a conversation with her. The LV4 of the True Spirit Secret Realm was shocking to everyone. However, many of them looked at Long Yu enviously. It was infuriating that a mere LV2 of the True Spirit Secret Realm could sit at the same table with such a beautiful and noble lady. Suddenly, Long Yu had an idea. He finally knew what he could talk to Yin Huanma about. By the way, Elder Yin, do you know about the 7 calamities? Long Yu asked with a frown. On his way to Mixound City, he met Qi Xiaoxue and Dang Shun. Dang Shun's boss, Xinghai Yi Luan, one of the 7 calamities, seemed to be interested in Long Yu. Although Long Yu did not know whether Xinghai Yi Luan was a friend or a foe, it was a good opportunity to find out his identity since he met Yin Huanma. 7 calamities. Yin Huanma's beautiful and noble eyes flashed with a touch of surprise. I didn't expect you would also hear about them. The 7 calamities are the 7 notorious and powerful martial cultivators of the Heavenly Mandate continent. It is said that each of them has entered the Heavenly Human Secret Realm. Sure enough, the Heavenly Human Secret Realm. Long Yu's heart skipped a beat. To be ranked in the entire Heavenly Mandate continent, one had to at least enter the Heavenly Human Secret Realm. Even an expert in the integration of real spirit state could not make any waves on the stage of the entire Heavenly Mandate continent. Then, what about Xinghai Yiluan? Long Yu continued to ask. Xinghai Yiluan. Yin Huanmo's beautiful brows knit together tightly. He's ranked last amongst the 7 Bane stars, and his name is Yiluan. Galaxy is his honorific title. I'm not too sure about the specifics. Even I'm far from attaining that level. All I know is that Galaxy Yiluan is rumored to be very young, and he only rose to prominence in the recent years. Yiluan. Long Yu frowned and thought. However, no matter how hard he thought, he could not think of any connection with this Yiluan. Could it be related to his father or mother? Long Zaiqian was expelled from the Tang Empire and had not been heard from for more than a decade. No one knew where he was now. And Bei Yu Yao was from the Heavenly Mandate Sacred Institute. Long Yu did not know much about the Heavenly Mandate Sacred Institute. He only knew that it was a powerful force above the Tang Empire and other countries. Long Yu could only guess that it was because of his father or mother that he wanted to be related to an expert at the level of the 7 calamities. However, it was impossible for him to know what the truth was. He only knew that on the list of people he had to be wary of, there was another Xinghai Yiluan. There seems to be someone you know downstairs. Suddenly, Yin Huanma looked at the street downstairs, and her red lips moved slightly. Long Yu's heart skipped a beat. He looked out the window and saw more than one acquaintance passing by the restaurant along the street from the city gate. There were 7 people in total. Chapter 147. When Long Yu looked out the window and saw Feng Yao, his expression changed slightly. Why is she here? Initially, when Feng Chang'e said that Feng Yao had run away from home, Long Yu did not take it to heart. But now, Feng Yao was with Qi Xiaoxue, Deng Shun, and the others. Thinking back to what Qi Xiaoxue had said, could Feng Yao have become the subordinate of one of the 7 calamities, Xinghai Yiluan, like Deng Shun? Stage 2 of the True Spirit Realm. Long Yu was able to see through Feng Yao's martial Dao realm with a single glance. His pupils involuntarily shrank. This Feng Yao's martial Dao realm had risen too quickly. She must have consumed countless medicinal pills or demonic beast inner cores recently. Where did she get so many elixirs or demonic beast inner cores? Moreover, Long Yu soon noticed that there was a long sword hanging on Feng Yao's waist. It was a transcendent spiritual level combat weapon. Has she found a backer? Long Yu narrowed his eyes. When he saw Feng Yao's transformation in such a short period of time, he naturally had such a thought. In the past, even though Feng Yao had worked very hard, there was still a huge gap between her and Lu Yuan. But now, Feng Yao had become an expert with the same cultivation as Lu Yuan. This obviously had nothing to do with her talent, but it could also be due to some fortuitous encounter. Long Yu was more willing to believe that she had found a backer. At this moment, Feng Yao, Qi, Xiaoxue, Deng Shun, and the other 4 people were walking together, and they seemed to be the leader. Whether it was Deng Shun or the other 4, they all seemed to be very respectful towards Feng Yao. And these people should be the subordinates of one of the 7 calamities, Xinghai Yiluan. Could it be Xinghai Yiluan? Long Yu could not help but guess. He quickly looked away. As he was sitting with Yin Huan and Mo on the 2nd floor of the restaurant, Qi Xiaoxue, Feng Yao, and the others did not notice him. Not long after, Qi Xiaoxue and the others passed by the street and gradually disappeared into the distance. They were probably going to destroy the Chong barbarian demonic beast lair. I didn't expect Feng Yao to be among the 7 people Qi Xiaoxue mentioned, Long Yu thought to himself. However, he quickly threw this matter to the back of his mind. Since he had promised Feng Chang'e that he would not take the initiative to attack Feng Yao, he would definitely keep his promise. He wondered if Xinghai Yiluan had heard about Long Yu from Feng Yao. Looks like you guys aren't familiar with each other. Yin Huanma smiled faintly when he saw Long Yu's expression. Probably. Long Yu chuckled. After the meal, Yin Huan Mo brought Long Yu to the largest trading area in Mixed Sound City. Everyone had to pay 1 crystal coin to enter the trading point. Even Yin Huanma, a 4th-layer True Spirit Secret Realm expert, was no exception. After paying 2 crystal coins, Yin Huanma led Long Yu into the crowded trading area. At a glance, this trading point was filled with experts that had stepped into the True Spirit Realm. What type of upper spiritual level combat weapon is it? Let me give you an estimate. Yin Huanma asked as he walked in front. It's the Flame Explosion Jade Talisman from the Fire Temple. Long Yu answered honestly. If it wasn't for Yin Huanma's experience, he would have been cheated by the martial cultivators of the Jianghu. It's the Flame Explosion Jade Talisman. Yin Huanma was shocked. That's not that valuable. Although an ordinary upper spiritual level combat weapon can be sold for 8 to 1,000 crystal coins, I'm afraid the Flame Explosion Jade Talisman can only be sold for 700 at most, and it might not even be sold. Don't worry, I've already prepared myself. Long was a little puzzled. Since he had obtained the Flame Explosion Jade Talisman for no reason, it was not bad to sell it for 700 crystal coins. Mixed Sound City was the place with the most martial cultivators of the Jianghu in the 3 nearby countries. Naturally, there were all kinds of martial cultivators of the Jianghu. It was not uncommon to see disciples of the Fire Temple cultivating the power of fire in Mixed Sound City. However, there were not many martial cultivators of the Jianghu who could afford an upper spiritual level combat weapon in the entire Mixed Sound City. Along the way, although they saw many martial cultivators of the Jianghu who cultivated the power of fire, Long Yu found out that they could not afford it at all. Not to mention 700 crystal coins. Even 70 crystal coins was not something anyone could take out. After all, crystal coins represented elixirs and inner cores of demonic beasts. Unless they had just made a fortune, they would have used up all their crystal coins for cultivation. Long Yu, are you going to participate in the martial arts competition of the 7 sects? After asking a few people, but none of them could afford it, Yin Huanma suddenly asked. Of course. Long Yu answered matter-of-factly. It's a waste of time to search aimlessly like this. Yin Huanma pondered, why don't I buy the Flame Explosion Jade Talisman first, and you exchange it for some elixirs or inner cores of demonic beasts and go cultivate first. As for me, I'm waiting for someone here. I'll sell the Flame Explosion Jade Talisman while I wait. Elder Yin, is that appropriate? Long Yu was stunned. The suggestion was to his liking, but Yin Huanma seemed to be at a disadvantage. After all, he would have to spend time to find a buyer for the Flame Explosion Jade Talisman. Of course, Long Yu was not worried that Yin Huanma would take advantage of him. After all, he estimated that the Flame Explosion Jade Talisman would be worth about the same price. What's inappropriate about it? Yin Huanma smiled faintly. I'll buy you 5 spirit-grade mid-grade elixirs or demonic beast inner cores. I'll also give you 200 crystal coins, so that you won't be stopped if you want to enter Mixed Sound City. Hearing this, Long Yu was a little embarrassed. However, Yin Huanma's suggestion was not bad, so he accepted it happily. Soon, Yin Huanma found a stall that sold inner cores of demonic beasts. After bargaining with the stall owner, he bought 6 different inner cores of middle-grade spiritual beasts at the price of 540 crystal coins. The stall owner was also an expert of LV4 True Spirit Secret Realm. Otherwise, it would be impossible for him to get so many different kinds of inner cores of middle-grade spiritual beasts. It should be known that Qi Xiaoxue and the other 6 people would only get 1 inner core of middle-grade spiritual beasts when they went to exterminate a nest of long barbarian demonic beasts. The rest of the inner cores would definitely be lower-grade spiritual beasts. Then, Yin Huanma exchanged the 6 inner cores and 160 crystal coins with Long Yu for the Flame Explosion Jade Talisman. Long Yu kept the inner cores and pondered over the names of the 6 demonic beast inner cores. Weeping Wolf Spider, Giant Stone Scorpion, Top-Destroying Earth Spirit, Man-Eating Giant Python, Bayonet Wolf, Bloodthirsty Lynx. These 6 demonic beasts had inner cores of middle-grade spiritual beasts, which meant that they were definitely powerful existences of LV4 True Spirit Secret Realm or above. Moreover, there were many demonic beasts in the Ghost Valley of Heavenly Soul, which made it extremely dangerous. If a team of martial cultivators of LV3 True Spirit Secret Realm wanted to kill a LV4 True Spirit Secret Realm demonic beast, it would not be a problem if they were lucky. However, if they wanted to kill 6 demonic beasts, or even more, they would not be able to rely on luck, as they might lose their lives if they were not careful. After all, the Ghost Valley of Heavenly Soul was a world of demonic beasts. Even though human martial cultivators often went there to hunt, there were always more demonic beasts than human martial cultivators in the Ghost Valley. Holding the 6 spirit-level mid-grade inner cores in his hand, Long Yu's heart moved as he suddenly thought of something. By the way, Elder Yin, do you know of a pill that can repair a martial cultivator's heavenly meridian? I heard that it's a pill that surpasses spiritual level. How many crystal coins would it cost to buy it? Long Yu asked Yin Huanma. Your foster father's heavenly meridian was damaged, which resulted in his cultivation being suppressed below the True Spirit Secret Realm. Yin Huanma frowned slightly. Pills that are above spiritual level are black level. Such a pill was extremely rare. Even in Mixed Sound City, it was rare to see one. However, if they were to appear, they would be worth at least 100,000 crystal coins. 100,000 crystal coins. Long Yu frowned slightly, but he was already mentally prepared. If it wasn't so difficult to find, Fengchanga and Man, you would not have been unable to recover after so many years. I understand. Thank you, Elder Yin. Long Yu nodded. You're welcome. I'm going to set up a stall here and sell the Flame Explosion Jade Talismans. If I can't find them, I'll auction them off at the Mixed Sound City. Yin Huanma reminded Long Yu. If you're planning to enter the Ghost Valley of Heavenly Soul to hunt demonic beasts, remember not to cross the Butterfly Valley. Otherwise, it'll be extremely dangerous. I got it. Long Yu nodded solemnly. The Ghost Valley of Heavenly Soul was an extremely spacious valley, which was similar in size to the entire Tang Kingdom. As for the Butterfly Valley, it should be one of the checkpoints of the Ghost Valley of Heavenly Soul. Once one crossed the Butterfly Valley, one would enter the world of demonic beasts. It was impossible for a human martial cultivator to survive there. Only an expert who had achieved the unity of true spirit or the heaven-being realm was qualified to cross the Butterfly Valley. Long Yu would definitely remember this. Even with the 9 underworld dragon seal, he would not dare to risk his life. Following this, Yin Huanma found a spot nearby and set up a stall to sell the Flame Explosion Jade talismans. She was wearing a black dress, and her hair was tied up in a bun. She looked elegant and elegant, which soon attracted the attention of the crowd. As for Long Yu, he put away the 160 crystal coins. He took the 6 spirit tier mid-rank demonic beast cores and left the trading area. He prepared to leave from the other side of the city gate and head towards the Ghost Valley to hunt for demonic beasts. The 6 inner cores were not enough for him to advance to the 3rd layer true spirit realm. The amount of spiritual chi contained in a supreme grade spiritual dragon leap golden core was equivalent to 100 inner cores of spiritual middle grade demonic beasts. In order for Long Yu to advance to the 3rd layer true spirit realm, he would have to continue hunting demonic beasts and plunder their inner cores. However, as he walked toward the entrance of the city, a few martial cultivators of the pugilistic world followed him from the trading area. It was obvious that they were up to no good. Trying to rob us? I'm afraid you guys are not qualified to do so. Long Yu remained calm, as he had already figured out their martial skill realms. Apart from one of them who was at the 3rd layer true spirit realm, the other 4 were at the 2nd layer true spirit realm. With 5 of them, even if they teamed up, Long Yu would not be afraid of them. Chapter 148. As Long Yu left Mixed Sound City, he quietly activated the 9 Underworld Dragon Seal to absorb the 6 middle spiritual level Inner Dawn. Dense spiritual chi was stored in the 9 Underworld Dragon Seal. However, this alone was far from enough for him to step into the 3rd layer of the true spirit secret realm. After exiting the east gate of Mixed Sound City, there was a dense forest called the Sky Soul Forest. It was the only way to the Sky Soul Ghost Valley. As soon as Long Yu entered the Sky Soul Forest, the 5 martial cultivators following behind him could not hold themselves back. The leader of the group, who was at the 3rd layer of the true spirit secret realm, quickly arrived in front of Long Yu and blocked Long Yu's path with an arrogant posture. "Kid, stop." The man's eyes were filled with disdain. His gentle temperament gave Long Yu a sense of familiarity. Could it be that he had met this guy's brother before? Long Yu thought to himself. He was slightly confused, but he remained calm on the surface and said, "What can I do for you?" "Cut the crap." The man's eyes flashed with murderous intent. "Since you're going to die, I'll let you know who you've offended. Long Yu, do you still remember how you cruelly killed Qiu Jinyu in Jade Gate City? He's my brother. You can forget about living after offending Boss Qiu Jun. We'll take care of all your belongings for you." Following these 2 sentences, the other 4 martial cultivators at the 2nd layer of the true spirit secret realm laughed in disdain and surrounded Long Yu from all directions. "I was wondering who it was. So it's that guy's brother." Long Yu chuckled. "Do you know that not only did your brother Qiu Jinyu forcibly occupy my Phone Clan's residence, he even wanted to make a move against my Phone Clan's disciples. Tell me, should I not kill him?" "Haha, what a joke." The gentle Qiu Jun, who was also wearing a white shirt, had a crazy smile on his face. "Now that your life is at stake, you still want to reason with me? You're too naive. Make your move." Following his words, the 4nd LV2 True Spirit Realm martial cultivators attacked Long Yu at the same time. In their eyes, Long Yu's martial Dao realm was at the 2nd layer of the true spirit secret realm. As for them, not to mention the fact that they had 4 experts of the same realm, they even had Qiu Jun, who was in the 3rd rank of the true spirit secret realm. None of them had any doubts about this. All of them were thinking that as long as they could kill Long Yu, they would be able to obtain his top-tier spirit-ranked combat weapon, the Long Spear. The 6th spirit level, mid-grade demonic beast cores were nothing in their eyes. In comparison, the top-grade spirit-level combat spear was worth at least 10,000 crystal coins. This was a great fortune. Even without the hatred between Qiu Jun and Long Yu, they would definitely choose to make a move. Facing the 4 experts of the second level of the true spirit realm, Long Yu's expression did not even change. He continued to smile and took out the 9 nether dragon spear from his back. Heaven-suppressing sun, condense, heaven-suppressing domain. The sun true spirit appeared behind him, and the light from the sun, which was infused with the pressure of the heaven-suppressing domain, shone in all directions and instantly enveloped the 4 people. The terrifying pressure of the domain caused the 4 people's expressions to change. Domain, it was actually a domain. They never expected that a young boy like Long Yu had already comprehended the domain of the laws. One had to know that among the 4 of them, the strongest person had only comprehended the force of heaven and earth. Under the pressure of the sun, true spirit, the 4 of them were all stunned. 10,000 kill. Long Yu gripped the 9 nether dragon spear tightly in his hand, and the 9 nether patterns were instantly activated. The tip of the spear condensed a cold, killing intent and stabbed towards one of them. He couldn't block it. That person's heart jumped, and he quickly tried to retreat. However, under the pressure of the heaven-suppressing domain, his speed of retreat was far slower than the speed of the long spear. True spirit, block it for me. The person gritted his teeth and could only condense his true spirit. A shadow of a leopard true spirit appeared in front of him and roared as it tried to defeat Long Yu's spear. However, the power of Long Yu's spear was far beyond his imagination. You think you can stop me? Long Yu snorted coldly and did not dodge. Instead, he attacked the leopard true spirit. Instantly, the tip of the spear, which was filled with killing intent, pierced a large hole in the leopard true spirit. Then, the tyrannical pressure completely destroyed the true spirit. Kill! Long Yu shouted, and the spear did not slow down at all. In the next moment, it pierced through the chest of that person. The first person dead. This scene caused the faces of the other 3 experts in the second stage of the true spirit's secret realm to change. How could this kid be so strong? They were all at the second level of the true spirit realm, but they were all killed by him with a single spear strike. On one hand, Long Yu comprehended the heaven-suppressing domain. On the other hand, the power of the 9 nether dragon spear was undoubtedly terrifying. This made the others and Xiao Zhan even more excited. The power of a supreme spiritual level combat weapon was indeed extraordinary. If they could get their hands on it, their strength would definitely increase tremendously. Kill. In order to prevent Long Yu from killing more people, Xiao Zhan attacked at the first possible moment. A phantom of a flying serpent appeared behind his back, just like Xiao Jinyo's. Immediately after, he held a mid-grade spirit tear dagger in his hand and thrust it towards Long Yu's back. Naive, Long Yu sneered in disdain. Then he activated his Xianxi, and a pair of grayish-black lunar wings appeared on his back. They spread out in an instant. Instantly, Long Yu's silhouette turned into a ray of grayish-black light and disappeared from where he stood. In the next moment, he appeared behind another martial cultivator at the second level of the true spirit realm. 10,000 kill. Killing intent filled the air. Long Yu's terrifying spear stabbed out from his opponent's back. This time, his opponent did not even have time to react. His dantian was pierced by Long Yu's spear, and he died. With Long Yu's current strength, it was as easy as cutting vegetables for him to defeat an opponent at the same level as him. Another supreme spiritual level combat weapon. The only one who could capture Long Yu's movements was Xiao Zhan. After all, he was an expert at the 3rd level of the true spirit realm, and was much stronger than the others. When he saw a pair of wings appear behind Long Yu's back and his speed increase, the greed in his eyes intensified. Another supreme spiritual level combat weapon. If he could kill Long Yu, wouldn't he be rich? Although Long Yu had killed 2 people in a row and displayed his unparalleled strength, which was much stronger than an ordinary cultivator at the second level of the true spirit realm, Xiao Zhan still did not think that Long Yu would be a match for him. After all, he was at the 3rd level of the true spirit realm. The current Xiao Zhan had been blinded by the 2 supreme spiritual level combat weapons that Long Yu had given him. He could not think calmly, and his mind was filled with thoughts of obtaining the 2 combat weapons. spear wings. However, if he thought about it carefully, he would know that he was no match for the current Long Yu. Even if he was in Long Yu's shoes, he would not be able to kill his two companions so easily. Not to mention, even if Long Yu could not defeat him and wanted to escape, Qiuzhen would not be able to catch up to him. Flying snake sword kill, Qiuzhen shouted. With a dagger in his hand, he used the snake's true soul to quickly move around in Long Yu's heaven-suppressing territory and attacked him. Layers of spear shadows. Long Yu did not care about it at all. He turned around and swung his spear, creating layers of spear shadows. Qiuzhen's dagger swept over and directly collided with the layers of spear shadows, causing a terrifying airflow to erupt. However, the lunar wings on Long Yu's back flapped, and his entire body turned into a grayish-black flowing light, instantly flashing away. Die! 10,000 kill, one spear strike. 10,000 people were killed. Long Yu swept the tip of his spear and instantly sent another martial cultivator at the second level of the true spirit realm who wanted to escape flying. He spat out a mouthful of blood and fell heavily to the ground. It seemed that he would not survive. Once the heaven-suppressing territory was unleashed, these martial cultivators had no way of resisting in front of Long Yu. Why are you running? Hurry up and kill him. Qiuzhen turned around, only to see the last of his companions turn around and run with a face full of fear. He could not help but curse, and at the same time, his body flashed, and he continued to attack Long Yu. How pathetic! Long Yu's eyes flashed with coldness. He did not have the slightest bit of pity for Qiuzhen and his companions. It was not Qiuzhen's fault that he wanted revenge. It was also not Qiuzhen's fault that he wanted to rob. However, after witnessing the power that Long Yu had unleashed, this Qiuzhen still wanted to kill him and rob him of the supreme spiritual level combat weapon. This was what made him pathetic. Towards his enemies, Long Yu would never be merciful. Where are you running to? Long Yu first chased after the guy who wanted to escape. In a flash, he appeared behind him, and the heaven-suppressing territory enveloped him once again, causing his body to freeze. Immediately after, Long Yu stabbed his spear from behind, directly piercing through his chest and shattering his heart meridian. Go to hell. Qiuzhen also took this opportunity to appear behind Long Yu, his eyes flashing with excitement. His companions were all dead. Now, if he could kill Long Yu, he would be able to keep the two supreme spiritual level combat weapons for himself. Unfortunately, his fanaticism couldn't increase his battle strength. Long Yu calmly turned around, his eyes filled with killing intent, causing Qiuzhen, who was sneaking an attack, to shiver. The one who will die is you. After saying that, Long Yu quietly released the concept of withering swamp that he had previously comprehended. Immediately, Qiuzhen felt as if his body had sunk into a swamp, which surprised him. Twin concept. The snake true spirit that Qiuzhen had condensed was best at moving nimbly. Even under the pressure of Long Yu's heaven-suppressing territory, it was not affected at all. However, at this moment, his snake true spirit was fighting against Long Yu's sun true spirit. Long Yu once again displayed the concept of withering swamp and easily slowed down Qiuzhen's body. 9 Nether Dragon Fist, drunk lying in the yellow springs. Long Yu put away the 9 Nether Dragon Spear, turned around, and gathered the 9 Nether Chi in his fist and punched towards Qiuzhen. Immediately, a yellow springs road formed by the 9 Nether Chi enveloped Qiuzhen, causing him to lose focus on the spot. Immediately, Long Yu punched his chest and instantly shattered his heart meridian. Chapter 149. After exiting the city gates of Mixsound City, they headed east to the Heavenly Soul Forest. The 5 martial cultivators of the pugilistic world were left here forever. After killing Qiuzhen and his men, Long Yu did a quick search and took away Qiuzhen's mid-rank spirit-level combat dagger. Other than that, the other 4 only had a few low-rank spirit-rank combat weapons with them. Long Yu thought that it was too troublesome, so he didn't even bother to take them with him. After all, he only had so little space on him, and it would be very inconvenient to take too many things with him. I've heard that in this world, there's a type of combat weapon called the spatial combat weapon. It's said that many things can be stored inside it, making it easy to carry around. Unfortunately, this spatial combat weapon is incomparably precious. Its value is definitely not lower than a profound grade pill. Long you felt that it was a bit of a pity, but it was just 4 low-rank spirit-level combat weapons, which added up to 30 to 40 crystal coins at most. It was so inconvenient to carry around, so he had no choice but to give up. However, just as he was thinking about this, he suddenly felt the 9 underworld's dragon mark on his chest heat up. Long Yu was slightly surprised. He could not help but use his profound chi to probe, and this time he was greatly shocked. The 9 underworld's dragon seal actually had its own space, a storage space the size of a room. This discovery made Long Yu overjoyed. He immediately stored the 4 low-rank spirit-ranked combat weapons into the 9 netherworld space, as well as the 9 nether dragon spear and Xiojin's dagger. Due to the short duration of the battle, no one else had appeared in the surroundings yet. After Long Yu finished searching for the spoils of war, he immediately activated the lunar wings and transformed into a streak of grayish-black light, heading east towards the Sky Soul Ghost Valley. Looks like this 9 underworld dragon seal really does have quite a few practical uses. However, unless I can use it, it will not be revealed, Long Yu thought to himself as he moved forward. He recalled that when he was in the Imperial Ginseng Forest, it was also when he needed to conceal the spiritual energy of the high-grade ancient ginseng that the dragon seal of 9 underworlds suddenly displayed its ability to conceal the spiritual energy of treasures. It was the same now. It wasn't until Long Yu had something that he couldn't put away that the dragon seal of the 9 underworlds suddenly heated up, reminding Long Yu that he could put things that he couldn't put away into the space formed by the dragon seal of the 9 underworlds. He wondered if the 9 underworld dragon seal had any other functions. If I encounter any trouble in the future, I can try to see if the dragon seal of the 9 underworlds can solve it. Although Long Yu didn't really want to rely on the 9 underworlds dragon seal. These small functions were too useful, and there didn't seem to be anything wrong with using them. However, when the true spirit of the 9 abyss dragon in his dantian was released, it made Long Yu feel like he was in danger. He turned into a gray flowing light and moved forward in the heavenly soul forest. Not long after, he ran for hundreds of miles and saw a valley filled with demonic aura. That was the Ghost Valley of Heavenly Souls. The entrance of the Heavenly Soul Ghost Valley was the size of a city, but the steep mountain ranges on both sides reached into the clouds and even extended into the distance, with no end in sight. If an ordinary martial cultivator wanted to enter the Heavenly Soul Ghost Valley, they would have to pass through the valley entrance. Only those who had reached the heaven realm would be able to control the wind and move as they wished, leaping into the Heavenly Soul Ghost Valley from both sides of the mountain range. Very quickly, Long Yu arrived near the entrance of the Ghost Valley. He kept the lunar feather and placed it into the 9 nether space, so as not to attract anyone's attention. With a glance, he could see that there were many martial cultivators gathered at the entrance of the Heavenly Soul Ghost Valley. They should be looking for companions to enter the Heavenly Soul Ghost Valley to hunt for demonic beasts. After all, the Heavenly Soul Ghost Valley was a world that belonged to the demonic beasts. It was extremely dangerous to enter alone, unless one was able to reach the 4th level of the true spirit realm. It was impossible for a martial cultivator to be willing to enter alone. This was because even at the outermost area of the Heavenly Soul Ghost Valley, there would often be some Ghost Valley Snake followers at the 4th level of the true spirit realm. These Ghost Valley Snake followers were a group of demonic beasts from the depths of the Ghost Valley. They were specially sent out to patrol, mainly to keep an eye on whether or not any human cultivator had entered the Ghost Valley. However, if these Ghost Valley Snake followers saw a human cultivator that they could defeat, they would definitely not mind having a good meal. Qi Xiaoxue, Feng Yao, and the others are not here. They should have already entered. Long Yu swept his gaze across his surroundings and thought to himself. As he walked towards the entrance of the Ghost Valley, no one noticed him. This was because he, who was only at the second level of the true spirit realm, was simply too inconspicuous, especially after he kept the 9 nether dragon spear in the 9 nether space. There was nothing on his body that was worthy of being noticed by others. However, when he walked toward the Ghost Valley alone, someone finally focused their attention on him. Hey, do you think that kid is crazy? He's only at the second level of the true spirit realm, yet he's walking into the Ghost Valley alone? You don't say. There really are some fools who don't take their own lives seriously these days. It's really not easy for such a fool to be able to cultivate to the second level of the true spirit realm, huh? The group of people looked at Long Yu, their eyes filled with ridicule and ridicule. To them, they did not care about the life and death of others. Every single one of them only cared about their own lives. Of course, Long Yu did not care about the opinions of these Jianghu martial cultivators. The reason why he entered the Ghost Valley was to hunt down the lone Ghost Valley snake disciples. Even though the other party's cultivation was at the 4th level of the true spirit realm, Long Yu was not afraid. The current him could easily kill an opponent at the 3rd level of the true spirit realm. Even if he were to face a Ghost Valley snake disciple at the 4th level of the true spirit realm, he would definitely be able to put up a fight. Just now, when he killed Qiuzhen's group of 5, he did not use his true strength. Even if he only used the power of the Thunderstorm Charm, he would probably be able to kill Qiuzhen and the others in an instant. Furthermore, he had now obtained the Thunderstorm Tyrant body. Even if he ignored Qiuzhen and the others' attacks, he would not suffer too much damage. Instead, he would be able to easily kill them. The moment Long Yu stepped into the Ghost Valley, he felt a cold aura assaulting him. The entire Ghost Valley was filled with demonic qi. The cold aura enveloped the entire Ghost Valley. If an ordinary person were to enter, they would definitely not be able to withstand the erosion of the demonic qi. Only martial cultivators who had condensed their true spirit would have enough power to resist the demonic qi. The demonic qi floating in the Ghost Valley was different from the demonic qi in the inner elixir of the demonic beasts. The inner elixir could absorb the demonic qi, but the floating demonic qi was harmful to the martial cultivator's body. Gigi, a clear and melodious bird cry, entered Long Yu's ears. Following that, something in the grass in front of him seemed to move before disappearing from sight. What demonic beast was that? Long Yu did not know. However, the other party seemed to be a little timid. The moment it felt Long Yu approaching, it turned around and quickly ran away. After the small demonic beast ran away, even Long Yu could not feel the other party's aura. This made Long Yu even more vigilant. The Ghost Valley was a paradise for demonic beasts. Any demonic beast would always be able to display a stronger power in its own territory. Most importantly, the original form of demonic beasts were wild beasts. Wild beasts were best at using the environment to hide and suddenly attack. Fortunately, Long Yu had achieved the Black Thunder Tyrant body. Otherwise, it would be a little unsafe to walk alone in such a place. Someone is following me? Long Yu quickly noticed that there was a small team of martial cultivators behind him. There were a total of 4 to 5 people, and they were following him from a distance. It seemed that they wanted Long Yu to detect danger for them. Even if there was danger in front, the first to be attacked would be Long Yu. If they followed behind Long Yu, not only would they be able to ensure their safety, but they would also be able to benefit from it. This idea is not bad. Unfortunately, you are following the wrong person, Long Yu thought to himself. He immediately activated his Xian Qi and the lunar wings stretched out behind him. His whole body turned into a grayish-black light and instantly flew forward. This scene caused the 4 or 5 people behind him to be instantly shocked. That kid, he actually has wings. Could it be that he is a demonic beast? No. That should be a battle weapon. Look at how fast he is. It must be the effect of that winged battle weapon. Since that's the case, let's quickly chase after him. We can't let him escape. The 4 to 5 people did not hesitate and wanted to chase after Long Yu. However, they quickly realized that their speed was nothing compared to Long Yu's. In just a few breaths of time, Long Yu had already disappeared from their line of sight. At this moment, everyone had already entered the Sky Soul Ghost Valley. The surroundings were overgrown with weeds and lush trees. Danger could happen at any time. Don't chase after him. Be careful of the surroundings. This five-man team quickly adjusted their formation. It was obvious that this was not the first time they had entered the Sky Soul Ghost Valley to hunt. The most important thing to hunt in the Sky Soul Ghost Valley was not strength, but experience. Without experience, even an expert at the 4th level of the True Spirit Realm would have a high chance of dying in the Sky Soul Ghost Valley. For a small team of martial cultivators at the 3rd level of the True Spirit Realm to hunt in the outskirts of the Sky Soul Ghost Valley, what they were most afraid of was encountering the Ghost Valley Snake followers. If the Ghost Valley Snake followers appeared openly, they would not be afraid. After all, 4 or 5 of them would be able to win no matter what. But the most important thing was that the Ghost Valley Snake followers were famous for being sinister. In this kind of environment, the Ghost Valley Snake followers were extremely good at hiding because they were snake-type demonic beasts. If ordinary people did not pay attention, it would be impossible to discover them. As long as the Ghost Valley Snake followers suddenly appeared and killed 1 or 2 people in the team with lightning speed, the rest of the people could only be slaughtered. The 5-man team advanced cautiously. However, they did not know that the person they were following, Long Yu, had already quietly circled behind them. Long Yu, after taking a big detour, was actually following behind these 5 people. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.